teachers. So now he's still in SSE but teaching various other groups. And we also have brother Chandra Mauli from SSBC Banda Klang. So he is also one of the brainchild of Banda Klang's reviving virtual classes. So good job to Banda Klang and team. So we'll be using our resources here now to train all of y'all on the usage of Nearpod. So do any of y'all have any challenge in entering the Nearpod link? Because I only see 15 of y'all. We have a total of 32. So if you guys have any challenge, please do state in the chat box and we'll try to address that.
You guys can even unmute and tell us so that we can help in that sense.
Yeah. So we will be having some a small game during this session. So it'd be good if you can also turn on your video so that you know that, because we'll have some face reaction kind of game which we will be playing later. Okay. So we'll just give maybe 1 minute. Okay, just to check if you guys are still with me, I'll just call upon 1 or 2 names. Sister Rupini, Sairam, how are you?
Sairam.
Sairam.
I'm fine.
Okay, good to see you joining us. Thank you. Auntie Yogesh from Negeri Sembilan, our pillar of strength. How are you, Sairam, Auntie? Okay, it's okay. I think I'm unable to mute. Okay, brother Ashok has sent his regards. Sairam, brother.
Sairam, bro, I'm trying to find the Nearpod link. Sorry.
You're trying to find the Nearpod link. Okay, so the Nearpod link, I will share it again.
Oh, yeah, thanks.
Okay. Yeah, so I've shared it again.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Okay, Satishaka, shall we start? Is it okay? Or
yeah, I think we can go ahead.
Yeah,
Do you have enough members there?
I have 17 people in the Nearpod. So a few more are still asking for the link.
Okay.
Yes, so
okay.
brother Chandramoli has shared the code and also the link I've already shared. So
Okay.
I'll just start. So you all can slowly trickle in, no worries.
Okay.
So we'll start. Okay, so this is basically a Nearpod lesson plan which will be given by the national team. So it is somewhat like a PowerPoint presentation, but it has many more features that the teens would enjoy while the classes are going on. So this is the first slide. So I'll just move on to the next slide. So as you see in the Google Meet screen, it is the teacher's view. So which is my view, which I'm presenting now. And in your Nearpod app or page, that is the student view, which your teens will be able to view when you are conducting the class. Okay, so I'll move on to the next slide. Okay, so we have a story to share to all of y'all, and I hope you all can pay close attention because we have a activity based on the story which will be shared by our brother here. So even Swami is ready on his seat, so I hope all of y'all are ready to listen to the story by our brother Chandramouli. Brother, you can take lead.
All right, Saram everyone. Hope everyone can hear me loud and clear. If you can, just acknowledge in the chat or give a thumbs up. You can say yes in the chat so I know that everyone's being attentive. Right, that'll be great. Right, thank you, brother Ashok, Sister Mina, Atishaka, Anushaka. Thank you. All right, so I mean, in every Balvika, we usually start off with a prayer and then we go off with a meditation, right? So let us just quickly start off our morning with some visualization of what it's like to be, in the home of Bhagavan itself, right? So let us all just quickly close our eyes and sit straight. And as I speak, just visualize on the words that I say. All right? Hope everyone can close their eyes, take in a deep breath, let it out slowly, and just focus on my words. Imagine you are in Puttaparthi. You are walking along the gardens of Puttaparthi, and along in the distance, you can see the beautiful Kulwant Hall. And a little bit somewhere else, you can see the sunrise rising from the horizon. As you keep walking, you can hear the sounds of the soothing waters of the Chitravati river. And as you keep walking, admiring the beautiful scenes around you, the sounds of the birds, the wind in your hair, the grass moving under your feet. And as you keep walking, you encounter such a beautiful sight. You see Bhagavan standing and admiring the beautiful view. But along with Bhagavan, you cannot believe your eyes. There is just another beautiful view, almost as auspicious as the sight of Bhagavan itself. This sight has you speechless. Bhagavan sees you approaching him, and you, being unable to contain the joy that you have, you go towards him, and he raises his hands towards you and gives you his blessing. But yet, you cannot forget the incredible sight that is right next to him. Swami realizes you admiring this sight, and he says, "Go, child. I know you like. I know you like it." In utter bewilderness, you walk back home, excited to tell what just happened to your friends, to your family. And at the same time, you're thinking, did I just see what I just saw? Did Bhagavan just give me his blessing? Did I just see something so incredibly magnificent? Something so peculiar and yet beautiful? Without hesitation, you run back home, and your friends immediately notice something weird about you. What happened? You say, I met Bhagavan. He gave me his blessing. But they still notice something is not right. That is not how your face looks like when you get blessings from Bhagavan. Where is the smile? Then they ask you, what else did you saw? But words are not coming out of your mouth. It is indescribable. And so as you sit contemplating just what to say, everyone can slowly open your eyes. Now, just what is it that we all might have seen that is so bewildering, that is so peculiar, that there are no words for you to even describe it? So let's see what this thing is. I think I can pass it on to Brother Subhash.
Yes, Sairam, thank you very much, brother, for the well narrated story. So yeah, so as this person has seen something really beautiful in his life and he's so speechless, we would how many of you would definitely want to see what is the what he has seen or what is the scenery back there. So I'm sure all of us would like to see it. So but we only can appoint one person to be there to witness it and to share across what they have seen. So do you all mind, one of y'all, can you all please volunteer, or we'll pick anyone would like to volunteer on this?
Who would like to have witnessed?
To witness the miracle or the scenery or Swami site itself. Okay, we'll get Sister Suchitra.
Yes, and Saram.
Sairam, thank you for volunteering yourself. So it will be great if you can on your video for this so that the rest of us can.
Yeah.
So you just 1 minute.
Can everyone see Sister Suchitra's video?
Yes, we can see her.
All right, great.
Okay. So, Sairam Sister Suchitra. So now you have been blessed to be in Puttaparthi Prashanti Nilayam with Swami's presence there, and you're witnessing an extraordinary sight right in front of you. And we would like you to share it with us, but there's a catch. So all of y'all, please look at your Nearpod. Okay. Okay, so now we are going to guess the scenery. So what's going to happen is one person will be chosen to view the scenery, and that person is our sister Suchitra. Thank you for volunteering yourself. So what the rest of you all need to do is you need to guess the scenery by asking relevant questions to the eyes, which is Sister Suchitra, and you will be only able to communicate using your eyes and not verbally. So you're so awestruck right in front there, and you are not able to speak. Okay. So, okay, in this case, I've written teens. Okay, so teens meaning all of you all the participants. So, you all have been, given the opportunity to be the teens for today. So, all of you all need to, come up with questions. Ask Sister Suchitra what is it, and she only can able to communicate with her eyes. So, maybe Sister, before you can start, you can narrate to your fellow brothers and sisters how do you going to communicate with your eyes? Maybe a blink or a wink or so once, yeah.
From wondering yes, would be
Okay.
no. If I open my eyes wide, then you're close. If I squint my eye, then you're like nowhere near.
Okay.
I think that's about it. Yeah.
Okay. So this is the only chance for you to open your mouth and speak. So you have already said all your clues. So my dear participants, if you want to see what our brother has mentioned all this while, so Sister Suchitra would have already received the image or the scenery in your WhatsApp.
Okay.
Okay. Can you confirm that you have received it?
Just a minute.
So do not say what you are seeing it.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Okay. Yeah.
Received. Okay, very good. So okay, brothers and sisters, so now what we are going to do is we're going to show another another feature of Nearpod, which is to draw. So if you all can see in your Nearpod screen, so you're able to draw now. So your time starts now. It's either depends on all you all when asked one by one or as a group. So the time starts now. You can always feel free to ask Sister Suchitra on what is the scenery or image all about. Thank you. Anyone can start. Brother Ashok or Sister Rupini.
Anyone may just unmute their mic. You can ask her questions or you can type in the chat box also.
Yeah. So if you type, we can help to ask to Sister Suchitra.
Is everyone clear with the instruction of this activity? All right.
Okay.
Sister Suchitra, Sairam.
Yes, Sarah Manji.
Is it a scenery?
So it looks like a yes to me.
So need to be very, very.
It's a place. Is it a place?
Yes, it is a place. Okay.
Close to nature. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Seaside.
We also have Sister Anusha asking, is it a person? Please be very observant of Sister's face.
So you can use your face movement. You cannot. Up to you. You can.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. You can. No worries.
Yeah, so 2 wings is no, guys. Just saying.
You can actually pin Sister Suchitra's what is the screen? Yeah.
I can't believe this is happening. Okay.
So there's another question in chat box asking, is this garden with full of flowers? So it
Okay,
looks
yeah.
like a yes.
Yes.
And there's
Okay.
another question from Sister Morgana asking, is it wind?
Sorry, is that?
Is it wind?
Wind.
Oh,
No,
No.
looks like a
No
no, is
wind.
it? Okay.
Okay. So it's close. It's a scenery. It's a garden. Okay. Very good. So you all, some of you all can already start drawing. So it's more.
Are there a lot of flowers there? Sort of.
Sort
Some.
of.
Sort of.
Suchitra, only your eyes is supposed to speak. Your whole
I
face
thought,
is
I
speaking.
It's okay. It's okay.
can.
No, face can. It's a bit of a challenge for
Can you
her.
imagine? I can't blink until it's a yes or a no. Shankar, ne?
Okay, Sister Suchitra, is a scenery, is a garden. There are some flowers. There's a tree. Is there a sun? No sun.
No, son.
Okay. So is there a... Okay.
Anuaka here asking if there is a stream. No. Okay.
Is Swami present there in the garden?
No.
No.
Okay. How about let's hear from who's here? Someone, Brother Kogulan. Brother Kogulan, one of our youngest assistant gurus. Brother Kogulan, do you have any question for Sister Suchitra?
So is there any mountain, Suchitra? Okay, there isn't no mountain. Is it a lotus? No. Okay, no lotus. Is there a shining aura?
ரொம்ப ஸ்பெசிஃபிக்கா போறீங்க.
Yes. But it's good. Okay. But you guys can start drawing. So as you can see, there's a few drawing coming. So Sister Anusha has started drawing, Sister Parimala, and yeah, a few of you all can start as well.
Mr. Anusuya said, are there any animals?
Wow. Okay. It's a yes. Interesting. Are there red flowers? Okay. Don't know or no.
Is it a bird?
Is it a bird?
Bird.
No.
Is it an elephant?
Nope.
No, not Sai Gita.
Brother Chan, thank you for late.
Okay, so I think there are quite a number of clues which have already given. Sorry, we didn't get you.
Anushaka, yes.
Creature?
The question, I think, is it a mythical?
Is it a what?
Deer.
Oh. No. I think Anushaka asked, is it a mythical creature?
Mythical creature. Oh. No. Okay. Maybe you all can start submitting your image. So I think that we have overshoot the time for this. It's given 3 minutes, but yeah, I think it's too short. But yeah, it's good. It's good that some of you all have got some drawings. So maybe you can start submitting. Sister Anusha, Sister Parimala, Sister Vani. Okay, so as you all can see the screen, right? So in your Google Meet screen is the teacher's view. So this is how a view looks like of all the drawings which are coming in by the participant. And in your screen, you'll be able to see what you have drawn, right? So as you submit, okay, just tell, okay, Sister Satisha has submitted. So what I can do is I can share her drawing. So please do confirm if you can see what is appearing. Okay, yes, you all can see, right? Correct. Yeah. So then I can also choose any other drawing. So just tell for Sister, okay, Sister Vani maybe. Okay, so Sister Vani has also submitted. So there's a tree and some flowers and a bush. Okay, so when I share it, so it should come in your Nearpod app as well. Okay, okay, cool. So I won't be going through all the drawings. So maybe just a few. So Sister Anusha has drawn something here. Okay, okay, cool. So this is one of the option which is called a draw out option. Okay, so in most of our classes we have this option of drawing it out. So it's good that all of you all have submitted and also sent in. So is there any in particular you would like to view? I think I've already shown. Okay, Sister Parimana's one is quite interesting. Okay, so it's a tree with only the tree. Okay, and then we have a few other drawings. Okay, so this is one of the feature, and we'll move on to the next part. So the game part is over now.
Subhash,
Yes,
Sister
yes.
Veni is mentioning that she's not able to draw.
It's not able.
Maybe you want to just help her.
Okay. Wait, okay, there should be an option of choosing, because I don't have that student view. Maybe anyone else. How do I inform Akka of that? There's an option whereby you'll have like a pen and pencil at the bottom of your screen, right, Sister Satisha?
Yes, yes, correct.
Subhash, what you can do, can you go back to the slide so I can screen share mine, then I can show where to do. Just go back.
You don't share this drawing screen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, and now go back. I mean, go front, go forward.
This
yes,
one.
excellent. Okay, now I will share my screen, okay? Sorry. Okay, so all of you can see my Nearpod, right? So
yes.
This is student's view. So what I can do is, I have drawn here. So what I can do, I just can erase, sorry. I accidentally clicked the wrong one. Okay, still can see, right, Nearpod?
Yes, yes.
Yes,
okay,
yes.
so what I can do is I can erase everything, let's say like this, and then I can select this pencil or pen at this area here. Let's say I'm doing a black, so I can just draw something here. And if I'm happy, what I can do is press this button called submit. Okay, so these are some features, like you have pen, markers, you can even put text over here, or erase or include any images as well. Okay, and then you can just submit. If you submit, Brother Subhash, as a guru now, would have received my answer, right, Brother Subhash?
Yes. So
okay,
if you you just stop. Okay, so now if you can see my screen, so as all the teens submit, you all can see my screen.
Yep, coming in.
Yep.
Okay, all right. So as you can notice that, so as all the teens submitting, right, it will come in this view that all the teens one by one, like, you know, the name is Viji, Anusha, Parimal, and all that submitted. So if it's still in progress, it will come as in progress. And if already submitted, it will come as submitted. And what I can choose to do is, as I did just now, I just need to click on this and share it across. So when I share it, it will come in your Nearpod screen. Okay. So yeah, so that this is one of the features of Nearpod. Okay. So if there's nothing else, we can move on to the next part. Okay. So basically, this is how we'll start a class on a normal module. We'll start off with an activity, and then we'll go on to the first level of questions. Okay. So in this case, so the question is, this is the image, okay, this is the scenery. So could you figure out the image easily? So what we'll do is we'll have a verbal discussion with all of y'all. So we'll start maybe with Sister Devyani. Are you able to speak? If not, we'll ask, okay, brother Ashok.
Wait, brother, I got a little bit lost a bit. Can you just go back a few slides back, because I missed that just now?
No, it's okay. No, we are in this slide. Were you able to guess the image which was shared to Sister Shuchitra and with all the questions?
Yeah.
Okay, were you able to figure out this exact image?
No, of course not. No idea.
Okay, cool. Anyone else would like to volunteer?
I think Sister Devyani said, "Oh no."
Oh no. Okay. Uh, oh no, okay, yeah, okay. So that's most of y'all were not able to guess it. Okay, maybe sister who was asking a lot of a lot of hints just now, sister Anusha, right? Sister Anusha, yeah. So you had a lot of questions to our eyes. So were you did this kind of image something crossed your mind at any point of time that this might be the answer?
Only the tree, I guess, but definitely not the animal.
Okay, okay. So this is something a little bit of a complication, which there's a hat on the tree and a snake is around the tree. Yeah. So
Yeah.
this was what that particular person in the story viewed, and with Swami's presence definitely, and he was awestruck. Okay. So this is how we conduct a verbal communication, a Q&A with our teens, you see. So we have a question and get everyone to speak. So it's either they can on their videos or just with their mics, they can answer to the questions which the teachers are posing to them. Okay, so once the question 1 is done, we'll move to the question 2. Okay. Okay, so the question is, why didn't you ask Swami much earlier? Even Swami in the image is asking why. Why I am right here in the story, in the narration, he said that I am right here, and why didn't you ask me? So anyone would like to take up this question?
I'd like to know Anishaka's reaction.
Yes, Sister Shobana. Anyone else?
How about Sister Pravina or Sister Pravina? Are you there?
Yes, Akka, I'm here, Sairam.
Okay, so what is your take? Why didn't you ask Swami earlier?
I have no idea, Akka, seriously. Even I was surprised with the picture earlier.
She's still surprised with that image itself. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. How about let's hear from I think I've seen hold on let me just quickly glance through. Brother Saravana Rao, why you didn't ask Swami earlier?
Sorry, I just came in, so I missed a bit from the earlier part.
Okay.
He was having a meeting with Swami just now, so it's okay.
Sorry.
No problem. No worries. No worries.
Okay, let's ask Veniaka. Veniaka, he was asking a lot of questions to us, but why he didn't come to you that we should ask Swami in that sense? Maybe we can hear from, senior Guru's answer.
Sairam, Sairam sister.
Sairam.
We didn't know that we can ask Swami. Otherwise, we would have asked him in the first place.
Okay, interesting answer. Very good. Thanks,
Because
Akka.
you didn't say that we can ask anyone.
He also didn't say that you
cannot
can't ask anyone also. Yeah.
Good.
So next time we keep that in mind.
Yes. Okay. There's one more by Sister Saras, right? I in the chat box, there's a lot of message from you. Are there red flowers? Is it a bird? Is it a yellow flower? So did this come into your mind? Why didn't you ask Swami much earlier? You can type also, no worries. Brother Prasant, Negeri Sembilan.
Sister Sheila also has shared, we are speechless when we see the divine Lord.
It's all Swami's Leela. Okay. Okay, cool. So is there anything to add on? If not, I'll move on to the next Swami's plan. Okay, Sister Veni has typed in. Okay, cool. All right. So I'll just go to the next part then. So usually this is how we'll get the question coming up and down from the teens. So we'll get the teens to share on this first very basic first level questions. Okay. So next one would be, do you really think Swami was not able to help? Okay, so in the story, if you had really realized when Brother Chandramouli has shared, so he said Swami's presence was there. Swami was there with the presence of this scenery, and that boy was very, awestruck and very blessed. So Swami was definitely there. So do you think Swami was not able to help if you had asked him? So what we could have just done is by asking Swami, right? Swami, what is that image you have seen? Because the two person who were there are unable to speak; they only can communicate with their eyes. So if we had asked Swami, what would have happened? So the sister Anusia would have is sent looking at things from our view instead of his view. Okay. So what you would have think if would have happened if you had asked Swami to help?
I think in many ways, even if we ask something, right, Swami may have given or rendered his help to us, but we do not see it. Or even if we see it, we think it is by a different force and not from Swami. We think if we think it's like how we think when we have an intuition in our mind, we think, hey, is that our intuition or is that our own mind creating some kind of thoughts in us? So something like that.
Yes, correct. Very well said point. Thank you, brother Saravana Rao.
Interesting answer, Sarana.
Very interesting. Sister Rupini, will you be able to share some insight on this?
I'm very sorry, I missed the story just now.
Okay, no worries. No,
No
but do you
problem.
think Swami, if you had asked Swami for help, do you think he will be able to help?
Definitely Swami will help, but it's just that whether we are able to capture the message or not.
Okay.
It's the way you shall share, na. Swami may have given some clues, but he would want us to try.
Right.
Yes, that is absolutely true.
Yes,
I
very
mean, the
true.
thing is now that most of us, we say that we didn't know that we could have asked Swami, because if we knew, we would have definitely asked him. And at the same time, for those of us who didn't know that we even could ask Swami, why do we think that he couldn't help? Because we might have thought, like Sarana said, we would have thought it was coming from us or some other force, that it wasn't probably Swami. It wasn't Swami who was communicating to us, right?
Yes. And Auntie Yogesh has also mentioned that we were using our own mind, didn't communicate with him. Yes, correct. So in fact, to be very honest, we have one Swami among us as well. So if had one of you all asked Swami, please show us the image or show us the way. So we have our very own Swami. Can you please show the image? Yes, our brother Chandramoli, he had the right image right in his hands. So if one of you all had asked, Swami, please help us because we have sister Suchitra who is unable to speak. Yeah, he's flashing. So the exact same image is there, and if either one of us had kept Swami in our minds and thought, okay, let's ask Swami for help and shout out loud for help, it would have definitely came. So it's okay. It's good that all of us have went through this experience. So what will happen is the next feature of Nearpod is a question and answer feature. So in this case, the question is, whenever you encounter a problem, who would you approach first and why? And whenever you are celebrating a success, who would you celebrate it with first and why? So maybe we'll give all of you on maybe 2 minutes time to fill in your answers, and you can click submit on that. Then I will start sharing the answers across. So if you can notice, right, in your screen, maybe you'll only have that option of typing in the answer. But in my screen, as the host or the teacher screen, you can see all the names with the answers who is going to come in. So you can start typing in your answers. So it depends on how you want to type in. Maybe you can put number 1 dash and your answer for the problem, and number 2 would be for the success. Okay, so we'll just give 2 minutes time.
for those who have already answered, I think you can share how the answers will appear in the Nearpod for the Gurus net.
No, okay. For this particular feature, once I start sharing, everyone's screen will go off and you'll only see the answers. Yeah, so we'll have to wait for at least all of y'all to answer, or some of y'all, then I can start showing the answers.
If everyone has already answered, you can please say yes in the chat so we know you have answered.
Yeah. So even it will appear in my screen as the host screen. So now if you can see, right, there two answers are in by Sister Anu and by Brother Ashok. Okay. So yeah, Brother Ashok has asked the question, why can I still submit after I press submit? So it's because if you want to change your answers or what, so when you resubmit, it will refresh to the new answer and it will eliminate the old answer. Okay. Yes, it takes the latest answer, Brother Ashok. So we'll just wait for a few more to come in and I'll start sharing the answers. So please note, teachers, for this part, right? Once all the teens answer, then only you can start sharing. If not, if you already start to share, then any other teens who are still typing, the page will go off and the answers will come in straight. Yeah, so Brother Ashok has asked a question. Can you see the participation percentage? So yes, so if you can see on the Google Meet screen, right, it shows my Nearpod visual. So if you can see that so far 32% have already submitted. So now it has increased to 35%. So you can see who has already answered and not answered. Like now Brother Shankar has not answered, but like Sister Anu, Sister Viji, Sister Anusha has already answered. Okay. Okay, so I think most answers are already in. So now I'll just show you all how it will look like when I'm sharing the answer. So okay, just for example, so you can also share to your team. So it will come as a flash, right in front of the whole Nearpod screen. It will come up to this answer: seeking help and sharing success with Swami first, as he shower us with his blessings. Okay, then I can share the next answer. My best friend, we are very close, and I'm able to share anything with her. Okay, so as you can see, I won't be going through all the answers. Okay, Brother Ashok has sent. Okay, for problem he would approach himself, and for success he would approach his cat. I hope I'm reading it right. Yes, correct. He'll approach his cat. Okay, as Sister Veni has shared that I usually talk to Swami and surrender the problem to him and ask for guidance. Okay, so Sister Suchitra has shared, physically it will be family because they fall under the close circle of people. Okay, so most of you all have answered Swami. It's good, but but initially all of you all didn't ask Swami for the help. So yeah, so this is that, what do we do when we encounter a problem or success? It's always best to approach Swami. So with this done, you see, so now we have come to that final question on this body level. So what we would do next is we would go to a Swami's message. So this is we are showing a mock class whereby it's within like 30 to 40 minutes, but in during your virtual class you can bring it longer and have more discussion before you bring in Swami's part. So in this case, the next part would be Swami's message and Swami related message and anchoring part. Okay, so if you notice, so in next slide, I hope you all can see, it's a video. So I'm put all device. So we are sharing a video in this Nearpod link, and one thing good about Nearpod is the teens can play the video on their own and have a look at what the video is trying to say. So this is a 3 minutes video, so you all can play it on your own, and we'll be back here then after 4 minutes. So yeah, Sairam.
It's a 3 minutes audio. There's no video in it. It's only audio.
Audio, yeah. So all of you can start playing and listen to the content. Thank you.
Okay, Sairam. So I think slowly, one by one, coming into this Google Meet platform after listening to the audio that was played in Nearpod. So I hope that the message that was trying to be put across from the audio would have reached everyone. So I would like to ask your view. What was the profound message that was shared that you think that really touched your heart? Anyone would like to share? See, if you have heard that audio, it was a sharing done by Sister Geeta Mohan Ram, who had very close proximity with Swami ever since her birth. And she had numerous experiences and, experiential learning day in and day out with Swami ever since her childhood, as she mentioned. And even by playing an activity with Swami, just like snake and ladder, there was a lot of insight and message from it that was trying to be conveyed. And yeah, anyone would like to try and connect to that message, you can go ahead sharing. So brother Ashok, would you like to unmute and share, brother?
Okay, Sairam.
Saram, brother.
From the message, I think what we saw is like Swami was trying to let us know that life is about ups and downs. So we just have to go along with it, just like the snake and ladder game.
Right. I think the most important thing over here, thank you, brother, for your sharing. It's truly what was brought out from that audio message. Our life is a mixture of good times and also not so good times. I think most of the time we only tend to cling on to Swami or seek for Swami only when we have got problems, troubles. Then we go not to ask him for solution, but we would go and ask him, why me, Swami? Why have you been putting me into much troubles? And most of the time when we are in happy moments, we forget sometimes to relate to Swami or thank him for whatever that has happened. The main reason simply being because we have not bridged that connection with Swami yet, because we see him as a different entity and we don't really see him as part of our life. So that is why in the 9 type of devotions that we would have heard, Navavidha Bhakti, and one type of devotion is the Sakya Bhakti. Okay, in Sakya Bhakti, Swami talks about building friendship with God, right? So if we have built this connection with Swami despite being in a difficult situation or despite being in a happy moment, I think all our experiences that we would experience, it comes very smooth because we always constantly believe that Swami is being present there with us. So this is the message that we wanted to bring out from today's activity. uh, if you're put in a troubled situation, a challenging situation, so we should never forget Swami's presence there. So Swami is actually silently being present there, watching everything, but only when we ask Swami, Swami would actually come into our life and he will guide us and lead us, just like Auntie Geeta shared that you should have Swami like the dice in your hands. Okay, so he will, when we roll the dice thinking that Swami is there with us, that means we have got no problems in our life because we have got this friend, this true friend in our life. No other friend who would be able to bring us across this challenges or this happiness. Okay, brother Subash, probably you can move on to the next slide.
Yes, and can you view the next slide?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, now I hope all of you can see this. Now, why is it important to reach out to Swami regardless of difficult or happy times? Sometimes we find it very difficult to reach out to Swami because in our mind, we think that even if I were to reach out to Swami, Swami is not going to give me an answer. Okay, this is like typical teens way of thinking. Probably the teachers think it differently. Or even if the answers come, we wouldn't realize that it has come from Swami, because teens may not have that kind of understanding yet, because they have not bridged that much of a connection with Swami yet. So from this lesson, we are trying to bring that connection out from the teens themselves. So now we would like to allow our teens to share. So why is it important to reach out to Swami regardless of difficult or happy times? So participants here, you can also do that. So this is like
Okay, so I'll just
yeah.
jump in. Yeah. So this is called a collaboration board. It's something like a notice board in school, you have. So this usually will be used for a very opinion-based answer where there's no wrong or right. So the teens will be able to share. So if you are familiar with this Instagram or a Facebook kind of thing, it's something like that kind of feature whereby the teens can post up, and among the teens they can like and not share, but they can like the comment and all that. So let's wait for some of the answers to come in, then I can show you how it has been done in this collaboration board. So as you can see this view, right? So when any new post comes, it will appear here. Okay, so we have one post from Sister Satisha. So what will happen is, when I'm sharing it, right, the name would not appear. Okay, so just can you confirm in your Nearpod if there's any name there?
Satisha's name is appearing.
Hold on, let me just.
No, in Nearpod.
No, there's no names appearing.
So
Oh,
in
sorry.
Nearpod, yeah. So in Nearpod, as the teens are viewing, right? So they will. So we can come up with that one particular post which shows he will lead us to the right path. So what you can do, you can like it. So that this is a feature whereby the teens would really enjoy, because it's very like a social media like or Instagram like of a feature. So far we have not received any other post, maybe a one or two posts, and then we'll just show. So what the teachers would need to do is just to click on this option here, and if there's any pending post, we can just accept it and it will appear on the board. Okay.
Along with this, I think my fellow teens here also have liked my post. So I can see 7 hearts were given to the post that been posted. So like that, we can also find the majority of favorable thoughts or opinion in that sense.
For those
Yeah,
who
so
would like to post it also, you can just type in whatever your thoughts are down there and you can press post. And you can also see there, you can attach an image and you can attach words, those two things.
correct. So
And then
usually
press
what
post.
Yeah, so what we will do once the teens have already shared and we have posted it, right? So we will just let the teens to read through, or maybe we'll appoint one or two of them to read through what is being shared. So in this case, there's a few which came in, shows that we are acknowledging him at all times in our lives, or knowing that I have someone to lean on at any time. And here there's one sharing, he will always be there regardless of the situation. So this is one of this very interesting feature of Nearpod. Okay, so I think that's about it for collaboration board. Okay, so if there any question pertaining to this, you can ask later. Okay, so we'll move on. Is it okay, Shankarana?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll go to the last part.
Okay, so when we talk about Sakya Bhakti, so Swami would always relate to Arjuna as a very good example to show Sakya Bhakti, right? So Arjuna and Krishna had a very unique relationship. In fact, Arjuna always used to address Krishna as his brother-in-law, and it's a very unique way of relating yourself with the Lord Himself. And And Krishna was not for such relationship. But since Arjuna called him as brother-in-law, so though he was not, but he wanted to provide a justification to these words. So therefore, Krishna gave his own sister Subhadra in marriage to Arjuna. So he personally performed the wedding and thus became entitled the relationship now. So now it was just not mere words of Arjuna calling Krishna as his brother-in-law. Okay, no, truly Krishna made the relationship happen as his brother-in-law by giving his sister Subhadra in marriage to Arjuna. So likewise, when we truly create this relationship with the Lord, okay, as our friend, as our everything, and I think he would also, accept this relationship and he would make this relationship to really happen. So just like Swami would always says, there's two ways of me using, two methods of me using to reach out to you. He says the first one is either you open your heart and allow me to come inside. If you don't do that, then I would take the step. I will break open your heart and I would come inside. Either way, he's going to come into our heart. So the message here is, I hope you all can see the slides that is being shared.
Yes, yes.
So, in good and bad times, in success and in failure, even during exile, Arjuna considered Krishna as his best friend and well-wisher. This is the true companionship. Blaming the other in difficulties and praising him in happiness is not a mark of true friendship. Arjuna clung to Krishna with faith. I have none else but you, come what may. Krishna and Arjuna were two bodies, but one life. This is true friendship. So this is the kind of friendship that we are looking at to build with our Lord, right? So we don't see the differences between us and the Lord. Whatever may happen, let it be good, let it be bad. All praises are to the Lord himself. And this is the kind of relationship, the Sakya Bhakti that we want to build with our Lord. So probably you can end the class with this kind of a quotation or sharing from Swami's discourses itself. And yeah, so that's about it. So even to make it better, if you want to have um, an activity or feel want to celebrate the session, maybe you can relate it to a particular bhajan, like a bhajan, like तुम हो अनाथ नाथ भगवान ओ साई मेरे प्राण सखा भगवान माता पिता गुरु बंधु तुम हो भक्त सखा भगवान दीन सखा भगवान 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 प्राण सखा भगवान ओ साई मेरे प्राण सखा भगवान. So the last line actually means, Sai, you are the lifelong friend of mind. Thank you and Sairam.
Thank you, Sairam, Brother Shankar, for beautifully ending the module. So yeah, as this is one of the way, so maybe you can also suggest your team some of the take-home points, or maybe give them a task for the week to reflect on this module. And when you come over for the next weekend's class, we can discuss on this. So yes, so that's all for our mock module for today by myself, Brother Shankar, and Brother Chandramouli. So if any questions, we can ask at the end of the workshop later, and I'll pass it to Sister Satisha to move on to the next part of the workshop. Thank you, and Sai Ram.
Okay, so thank you so much, Brother Subhash, Brother Chandramouli, and Shankarane. It was really amazing. We were all engaged. I mean, at least I was engaged. So let's hear from some of the participants here about how they felt about the lesson for today, okay, which is conducted by our brothers here. Just quickly, just hear a few words from them. Can I ask Sister Devyani? Sister Devyani Rajan, can you unmute and share some of your views about the lesson that you just participated?
It's everyone. It's actually very engaging. I'm sure the teams will be very engaged if the lessons goes on like this. It's not boring. I'm still a team. So yeah.
Okay. Can you just quickly tell me one thing that you really loved in today's lesson?
The way they conducted the lesson, like how they brought up the storyline and then they asked us to imagine a picture. It was like it's actually unexpected.
Okay,
And
so you
then,
really like the starter, is it?
Yeah, I like the way they conducted the class.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, sister.
Thank you, Akka.
Can I hear from Sister Darshini Harishankar Rao? Sister Darshini? Sister Darshini, are you there? Okay, never mind. Let's hear from who can I call? Yogesh Auntie. Auntie, what do you think about the lesson?
Okay, Sairam, Satisha, and the whole team. It was a brilliant plan, I would say. The flow and the ending part where all students are supposed to take Swami as their friend, as per Krishna story of Sankhya Bhakti. That's my comment. Thank you, Sairam.
Auntie, what is one thing that you really liked about today's lesson in 1 or 2 words?
I think you're talking about the flow of the lesson or the lesson itself.
No, it can be anything. But what is one thing that you really liked? Just 1 or 2 words.
Okay, I would say that I mean, I'm supposed to take myself as a student, right?
Yes.
So if I take myself as a student, I think we have to put a lot of thinking cap when we are being a student. That means think in a manner that the lesson is taking us somewhere. That's how I feel as a student.
Okay, that means
Swami is taking us.
Okay,
Yeah,
so that means, Auntie, I'm interpreting your answer as the lesson have made you think. That means some level of higher order thinking or critical thinking, you know, it was engaging your brain in that sense. Am I right?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, thank you, Auntie.
Sairam.
Okay, can I hear from Sister Suchitra, the eyes of today's lesson? In 1 or 2 words, what was your favorite part of this lesson?
I think the beginning bit was nice because it was visualization and then like how it moved to an activity. And that activity included everyone in something that we rarely do in class, to be honest. And it was, I think it was very apt, you know, for an online one and how it was done. So that was nice.
Okay, thank you so much. Now, many of you have somehow connected to the lesson today, and I think we have because this is one of the important questions that a lot of you actually ask: how do I engage my team to my lesson? What can I make them to, you know, be interested to come to the lesson weekly or 2 weekly? What can I do? Like with a demo lesson today, we have actually extract a lot of important ways that how you personally connected. In that sense, the lesson made you think because there was a lot of questions involved, and there was no one moment that we were all keep quiet with awkward moment. Somehow, rather, we were all communicating. Secondly, the way the flow event, there was storytelling, there was different aspects. So definitely, there is a trick and tips that have to happen here. So let's hear more about this from Brother Prashant and Brother Tava on our next part of today's session, which is teen engagement. So Brother Prashant and Brother Tava, I will pass the session to you.
Sairam. Tavan, are you there? Okay. So yes, it's time to talk about the most important thing, because I think we mentioned at the beginning of our session today that we are going to tackle areas where we have already sent out a survey to all the gurus and young adults and all that to see what are the matters that we're going to talk about in the terms of teen engagement, because about 70% of all the gurus have said that teen engagement has been a very important factor, especially during online classes and online lessons. I think that is it's a fact, because most of us, even during face-to-face classes, we actually have trouble engaging the teens in classes. But now we're talking about online classes. So Davana and myself are here to actually talk about mainly two different areas in this particular topic, which is teen engagement. And we're going to talk about, the first area would be how to communicate with teens online, and also how to make classes interesting. So I'll be sharing my screen right now so that we can all look at the slides. Okay. All right. So as you guys can see here, I hope my screen is able to be viewed. So here we are,
Yes.
teen engagement. These are exciting ways to communicate with teens online. All right. So the first thing to communicate with teens, I think the first way to communicate is to actually relate. We must first relate to the teens, understand what they are going through, understand how they think, especially when we are in classes. It's not only about how we are conducting the class, it's also about how they are receiving the essence of our class. Like, I think, like, we just had a mock session, and I believe that all of us were engaged, and also, it was something was going on. And although we are not teens ourselves, so we are not always distracted. But here's the thing: distracted, it actually comes from this main huge concept called attention span. Exactly, attention span. And all of us have attention spans, and some of it is some of us are, it's higher than the other. But this is an average study. See, a man versus a goldfish. An average human's attention span is 8 seconds. A goldfish's attention span is 9 seconds. So, brothers and sisters, I think the sad truth is, we as a society, we can't focus as long as a goldfish. But the average 16-year-old, though, you see, the average 16-year-old can focus for between 48 to 80 minutes, which is, you may say, I think that's brilliant, because our classes go on for 90 minutes, and I think it's a good amount of time. But here are the areas where you will lack if they are focusing for 48 to 80 minutes. You see, they are not going to like it. That's the first thing. They're not going to like it, because it tends to get boring after time, because you see, interest decreases with time. As soon as we get to the next minute, it's going to go down. And then at the end of the day, be it teens or ourselves as adults or gurus, we are all the same. We all have an attention deficit. So there is an area where to tackle this. But now, what do? We know that the teens can't focus that long, as in areas like this. So how do we engage them constantly? Well, here are a few ways to turn the weaknesses into strengths. So the first way is to take a break every 30 minutes. I mean, it's just a suggestion. Every 30 minutes, have a short break that, you will take their mind off the topic, just relax for a bit. Like, you could also play a game, or you could drink water, or have a chat with the teens, because at the end of the day, they're your teens. So you can always have a session like that. And of course, the next one would be using functions of Nearpod. Like, all of us, we just experienced it. Nearpod has various interesting ways to engage the teens, especially the drawing one, which we did at first. And then the poll questions you can also do. And then you also have open-ended questions. See, open-ended questions, you can also do like pop-up cards. Like, you can just put like a card there and ask them, okay, so this is what we want you all to answer right now. Now, quick, in like 10 seconds, just type out your answer and put it in. So that's like for open-ended questions. And of course, the collaboration board that we did just now at the end of the session. And finally would be to connect beyond the classroom. See, brothers and sisters, connecting beyond the classroom is very vital in terms of engaging with teenagers. You see, as a teen, most of them would feel dejected. Most of them would feel that they are not an outcast of society, but they are now finding themselves. So they are still looking for an identity. They're still looking around on how to do things and what to do in the future. And they feel unaccepted, because they have no idea who they want to be accepted with. So when it comes to us as SSE gurus, we have to be the ones where they feel very comfortable with. So they should look at us not as a parent, I mean, regardless of how old we are, when I used to go for Balvikas, especially during my group 4 years, I never wanted to go like to Balvikas and then talk to like my mom, or my dad, because I can do that at home. I want to have a friend. I want to have a friend or an anna or an akka who's going to be able to understand me, something that my parents won't be able to understand. But these individuals, they will be able to understand. That's where the teens will get even more connected. So connecting beyond the classroom, we can come from various different ways. And one of it could be calling them after the class, because when you're in the class and you're having, let's say you're having your students and all that around you, and then you're having a chat, and then of course not all of them are going to be engaging. Even right now we've got about 30 over people here. Not all of them are coming in and talking, right? Similar to that, in your class, you're not going to have all of them going to be coming in, sharing their thoughts and opinions. Maybe 2 out of 10 might not be the ones who will be the ones who are very reserved. So what you got to do is just after the class, give them a call. Call them up. Hey, how are you doing? Maybe at the same time you can get a couple of feedback from them. How's life? Maybe not even talk about the class. You can go ahead to just ask them about their day. How's MCO been? How's things going on at home? What did you have for lunch? The conversation can go on like that. And also another interesting method, that all these will be elaborated by Davana right after this, because Davana has like a very structured format for us to follow. So another method would be to actually give in there's this one concept which he said, that is to write a letter to your student. You see, when was the last time you received a letter, a handwritten letter? It's been like, to be honest with you, it's been a real long time. So if you can write a handwritten letter to your own students, these things would actually engage them even more. Like, they will feel even more connected. I see, look at that, my teacher just wrote for me a letter and they passed it over to me, all these kind of things. So it's going to keep them motivated to join classes and also be part of of the group that they're in. And also, you see, these are just methods that you can enhance the connection. But you see, when you're in class, most of us, especially I think most gurus, would feel, since this online mechanism is a bit tough, you see, most of us go through this thing where we are not confident. We're not confident. We're afraid that we're not tech savvy. That's the word these days they use. We're not tech savvy, so we're afraid that we might do something wrong. They might find it to be funny. We might lose our. But here's the thing: don't worry. We are not going to have a session in the parliament. We are having a session with our beloved teens. Our teens. It's our boys and girls there. So you don't have to worry about it. You just got to carry on, and you can even make it funny, because let's say you mess up a bit. You can actually twist it on its head and also joke with it, and go on, have a joke with them and make it fun. So that's all ways that you can. And of course, mistakes happen, guys. Mistakes happen. Even it's not even about age factor right now. It's mistakes can happen, because online anyone can easily mess up anywhere. So mistakes can happen, but the most important thing is that you must always learn how to carry on, move on with it, and have a good time with the teens. And another thing that most of us were talking about was the chat box. Yes, what about the chat box? This is a very important address that we have to give to the gurus, because you see, it is important for the gurus to be aware of what happens in the chat box, and even encourage the teens to use the chat box to share their thoughts, especially the shy ones, of course. You see, because as we said, the chat box is actually a very important tool. Even right now, we can see that we're all typing in the chat box, we're sharing our thoughts, because you can avoid the interruption of on and switching off your mics. So what happens is that you actually can encourage them. So the minute you encourage them, we always wonder, because you see, our teens are always mischievous, so you can be going on with your session for about half an hour, 45 minutes, and then you go back to your chat box and you see them talking about totally something different. Davana also shared an experience that he had, and I think most of us would have gone through this. We'll be talking about, let's say we're talking about Brahmarpanam in the chat box, in the session. We're talking about how Swami has, how food is part of us, and how everything goes back to the source. And then you go back to the chat box, they're all talking about grab food. Yeah, it's something that can happen commonly, because at the end of the day, we're talking about teens, and we have all been a teen once upon a time. So that's something normal. So they'll be talking about maybe grab food, something that's not related directly. But you see, here's the thing: that's an opportunity instead of a method for y'all to. It's not an obstacle; it's an opportunity. Because you see, now they're talking about grab food in the chat box. What you got to do is, you also join in, and you also share your thoughts about grab food. You can go on and on and on. Like we can just go on and talking. Oh, what's your favorite food? Where do you live? Do you know the Grab food nowadays does delivery here and there? Can go on talking about Grab food, because at the end of the day, although that day's session might be not that productive in terms of following the lesson plan, but always remember, you talking about Grab food today is going to engage them even further to join next week's class. And next week's class, you will have their attention and also their trust to make something that you want to happen, especially maybe follow the lesson plan, and they would definitely cooperate with you. It's like, it's a win-win situation. It's never a lose-win situation. And it's very important, because once you address their opinions, you see, if they put their opinions in the chat box, once you address them, then they will ease in better and feel more comfortable to share in the future. So it's not going to happen overnight, brothers and sisters. It's going to take some time, like maybe 2-3 classes, and then you'll see this person starting to, they will initiate conversations. They will engage through voice chat, or maybe even through videos as well. So that's very important. And also be aware of chat box shenanigans. It's actually very important. Most of the teens, actually, they can get into arguments and all that. And you see, for most classes, since so most of us have like both boys and girls in the classes, so it's very important. It's actually a very big question, that how do gurus bridge between the rules of the organization and adolescent behavior? It's a very tactical situation there, because you see, rules of the organization, for instance, it could be gender segregation, right? Gender segregation is very important in Swami's books, and it is a very vital thing that we all practice in Balvikas or any other camps or anything. So how do you practice gender segregation in the chat box? I mean, practically, you can't. So it's very easy to, sometimes you find like people might have arguments in the chat box. These teams might start arguing. Maybe they might have like a argument between this even a gender argument, something simple. And then, so what you got to do as a guru is to not shut them off. Don't go in there and just shut them off. Don't go in there and tell them, what, stop it right there, we got to get back. No, try to join them in. So you go in and then you ask, what's going on? Can I know as well? How does this work? Oh, so this is what's going on. And then maybe you can share your opinion. Don't pick a side. Make sure you're the person, the sound of reasoning between these two people. And of course, to all of the older gurus, the senior gurus here, another way to actually help out with this entire what I wouldn't say trouble, but also this entire online classes, because as I said, it's always helpful to have more than one guru in the class, because you can even structure your format of the class in a different way, and you can also have like an extra eye. So when you are sharing a screen for the slides, at least another guru can keep track on what's going on in the chat box. So if you have another guru, how do you get this? This is the best time, in my opinion, and I think most of us would agree to it, is that this is the best time and best way to bring in a young adult for Balvikas. Bring in a young adult in your center. Give them a call. How about you join me in the class today? Just motivate them to be part of the Balvikas class. And sooner or later, you're going to get them to join in. Because at the end of the day, it's going to be traditional methods, which is from the senior gurus, and it will combine with the young minds of the young adult. So you are going to get better outcomes, better results in terms of having your class, in terms of addressing all the issues in your class, and also engaging with these teens. Because you see, if you have a young adult, another thing that will happen is that they automatically have a connection with this young adult, so they will be much more interactive in the classes as well. So these are all methods that we can use to actually enhance the engagement with teens and communicate with them. And communication is very important. And one of the biggest ways, as I said just now, build a bond, ladies and gentlemen. Build a bond with them. Have a session to discuss with your gurus itself. If you have more than one gurus, have a session with them before your class. Have a session to discuss, okay, how are we going to go about today's class? Make sure you're well prepared. Knowing the lesson plan is not the main thing, but also understanding how the lesson plan is going to affect your students is also a very key factor, a huge key factor here. So these are all just short methods for you all to actually enhance and also tweak your classes these days that you're having now, to maybe get better outcomes from the teens later on. So I'll be passing it off to Davan, because he has, as I said, he has the whole structure with him. So Davan, off to you.
All right, Saram Prasad, thank you so much for the beautiful sharing on teen engagement. So, I guess, when we looked at the feedback that we got from the gurus, I think most of it was on how to engage with the teen. And most of the time, we want to understand from your part what is your troubles and issues, and also try to try to merge between what we have as an advantage from the young adult side, and also how we can go down to the teen server through this. So what I'm about to do here is I'm about to attempt this. I'm about to attempt to actually provide a kind of a structure. Okay, although teen engagement, come on lah, teen engagement is almost like this limitless topic. There's so many things that you can do, and it's all bows down to character and how you do things and how you make it interesting for them. But then there are certain kind of like these rules that you need to attach yourself to, that you can or may attach yourself to in order to actually get that class more interesting. So I'm going to share you my screen and definitely my slide. Hold on. Right. So how do you make your class more engaging? So we always expect, when we do our classes, right, we have done all this Nearpod. So the national team has given a beautiful Nearpod, and then we go and test this Nearpod, and then we say, oh, this is interesting. They can engage this way, they can all click this, click that, and everything. And you expect what you're expecting. You're having this mind thing going in your head. You're going to go like, oh, this thing is going to have this fun, trying to do this collaborative board and thing. And in reality, what happens is when you're there, you're almost like, இருக்கீங்களா? How இவங்க பேசுறாங்களா, அவங்க பேசுறாங்களா, this person talking, that person talking. You'll be asking around, and then nobody will reply, and then suddenly out of nowhere this chat box goes haywire, and then you have to look at this chat box. You're like, okay guys, please come back to the lesson, what is happening? So it becomes very chaotic at times, trying to handle what is happening. So that is truly expectation versus reality at that point in time. And most of us, we have these issues because these are known challenges for both. You see, the best part is both for gurus and also for the teens as well, known challenges that that is disallowing us to actually conduct a very good session. So you can see here, the first thing, let me start from here, understanding the cost expectation. So the first thing is, when the Nearpod lesson is giving, forget about Nearpod, your physical lessons that we give for the TNU classes and everything, your face-to-face offline lessons, even understanding the content itself is so hard. So one of the basic things I always tell everybody is, you don't understand the lesson plan, then it's very hard for you to even think about engaging. So understanding cost expectation, what is exactly this time trying to deliver? At the end of the day, what does the team want to know out of this lesson? And lack of in-person interaction, that is both guru and the teams as well. Some teams, no matter how hard you try, you can do all kinds of fun in front of the camera, and they're just like, they just keep staring at you, and you just can't get that feedback from this particular group. This is called the hard group. So there's this lack of this interaction, no matter how hard you try, and uncertainty about the future. What is going to happen? What is the next class? Is the next class going to be a good class? Is this going to under buy me? That fear itself, how is this class going to be? How my teams will be and everything. This uncertainty itself is going to again connect to this, where it brings down your confidence or being able to motivate your own self while you do your class. And of course, adaptability. A lot of us, we are not familiar with the online environment. So when you want to come into the online environment and learn all the different methods and everything, it becomes another challenge for us to actually produce an engaging class. So that also binds with the technical issues and digital literacies that both we and the teams have. Sometimes we are so good at it and everything, and you go to the teen site just to for the teams, they'll be able to view. I think I had a situation where they'll be able to view the Nearpod, but we all are okay. We're trying to we have all been so used to looking at the teacher's view, and then we forgot to look at the student's view. So the student's view side, the student's telling teacher, I don't know how to do this, I don't know how to do, I don't know how to submit, and you're confused. I have not seen the student's view, I have no idea what you're going through. So that becomes a problem between your digital literacy and also the teens digital literacy as well. And of course, distraction, time management, we all understand lah, kita semua faham. This particular Balvikas education, it's almost like a voluntary work. You're doing it out of passion and everything. It's not your main job. So we all of us have a lot of other different things to do. And if you ask like, oh yo, I have to go and learn all this, I have to go and do all this and everything, it really sometimes is a distraction, and sometimes even if it's not a distraction, it's very hard to manage time to actually put your whole self into giving for this class. But thing is, if you do not engage with your teens, two things. One is you're going to feel demotivated for as long as you're doing the online class, and your teens are not going to get anything out of it. So that is going to defeat the very big purpose of you trying to send an information for your teens, right? So how do I engage with my teens? Whatever it is, okay, Brother Taba, you've given me such a challenging, such and such all these challenges. Wait about that. How do I engage with you? Just tell me that. Okay, ready. Okay, I'm going to give you very easy 6 steps to taking an engaging class. Okay, 6 sahaja. Okay, 6 steps that you will be able to confidently take this engaging class. But don't be surprised. Okay, these 6 steps actually you know lah. You all semua tahu. Tapi we're just going to say it like when we put it in steps, people are like, oh, இப்படியா brother? அந்த மாதிரி யோசிப்பாங்க. So it is not 6 steps. These are the 6 steps. You can see here very easily. I've arranged this particular 3 steps. You can see the first step, the first tanga is training. Getting to know, get feedback, create and understand your lesson, personalize lesson, add the spice and evaluate, improvise. These are the steps that you take. So I'm going to share my own experiences as well and interlate some of the practical. So get ready with your notebooks and everything, because I tell you from now onwards, I'm going to share a lot of tips and tricks on how you can do stuff in Google Meet. And maybe you can also adapt this for Zoom. I think it should be the same thing. And also how you can use, later we'll have the personalizing the Nearpod stuff. So a lot of maybe advanced stuff, but these are great, nice tips and tips that you can play around in Google Meet so that you can actually take a much more comfortable lessons as how you wanted to take it. So you can see the arrow here. I've put here the arrow because this is not just one sekali naik tangga lepas tu sudah boleh jatuh. Bukan. Ini adalah naik tangga turun balik, naik tangga turun balik. So it's a vicious cycle that you go on again and again. It's not one time. You have to do it again and again in order to improve yourself as you go on going up the steps. So let's look at the first thing, training. Training, it comes to your surprise, or maybe like training now. First step on the training. Yes, exactly, my dear brothers and sisters. Training is the first step. You see, if you want to take an engaging class, I always feel that you need to have the basics strong. The basics that I'm talking about here is the basic Gurus training and the basic online lesson. So Gurus training is, if we do not understand what is exactly going on with the modules that is coming, the module that has the head, heart, and also the hands, which is the levels that we take these classes. We first introduce a kind of activity, and then you lead the team to a certain level where you connect the spiritual lesson to the materialistic activities. So this flow, this basic stuff that happens within the system of how an SSE or an SSEHV class is taken is very important, because if we don't understand the basics, then even ange on the fault that we won't understand where we're supposed to go from this. So please know your lessons, know how a lesson is structured, attend the Gurus training. I personally didn't attend Minaka's new training, but thank God my wife has attended, so she will always come back and brief. I'll definitely have to attend. And congratulations, you are here to actually attend this online session. So that is good news. This is one step for you to actually improve yourself in the basic qualification of training, right? So that's all about training. It's the basics. So that's the first step. One of the most important steps that you take is train yourself, right? So the second step is get to know or get feedback, because this is very important, guys. So what happens here is very simple. A lot of gurus here, I'm aware, that have not started yet your classes with your teams. And this can come up because of a lot of reasons. We are not confident about taking the class. We don't know how to take it. So let me share my own experience. I had the same experience in March when the MCO started. So me and my wife were talking, should we take the class? Should we not take the class? Can we take the class? Because I'm seriously telling you, I am okay with IT, but I've never really gone into Google Meet, or both of us have never really used Nearpod. But there was this thing, in your heart always telling, you 2 weeks already, these things are just sitting there doing nothing. We're also not giving a class. It's like, it doesn't feel right, you have to do something. So what do? There is no lesson plan, there is no nothing, how you want to give. So the first thing that came to my mind was, let's talk to the teens. I think that is your first lesson, the first class that you should do. The second step that you should take before, forget about your lesson plans, forget about everything that comes with the Nearpod. organize a session, get to know your teams and get feedbacks from them. This is how we start empathizing to where these teams are on the first session. And then you say, yeah, you know what, guys, I'm just here, I'm just going to tell you my story and you tell me your stories. Get to know that. If you don't know them, if you have not met them in the physical classes yet, you can actually get this time to know, oh, this is how my class is, they are like this, they're like this. So you get to know, and then you tell them, you know what, I feel that I wish to take a class with all of you. I think we should continue this human value lesson. What do you guys think? You give them the authority to decide, or the autonomy to decide on what they need as well. So you get this feedback from them, and they will tell you, are you so the first class that we had, the teens came to me and say, Anna, please la, Anna, do the class. We also don't know what to do already. MCO, no classes. So that time even the online classes were not going on from the academic, the formal academic stream. So they were like, oh, no, we don't know what to do, at least do something, Lana, and everything and all that kind of stuff. So you have to get this feedback, and you need to listen to them and find a win-win solution. For example, the first class that I ran with my teams, we did not actually use the Nearpod lesson. What we did was, in that one initial feedback that I got, they said, Ane, can we do the power of discrimination lesson? The previous last year's physical lesson, we really loved the lesson. There was a lesson about the gems being played, right? So can we actually play that and do that lesson with the teams and everything? And I decided, you know what, since you guys want it, and it still doesn't defeat the purpose of sharing a particular human value to the teams, and I decided to actually listen to them and run the power of discrimination lesson with the team. And they found it interesting because they wanted it, and I also ran the session. So it's like a win-win thing. You got from your teams what you had to do. Now, the next step after you get your feedback, right, then you're going to tell your team in the class, okay, guys, I have heard you, I have listened to you. Give me a week or two. Let me go back and look into what I can do to deliver you a class. So now you're going to go back to your blueprint, your board, and you're going to either create a lesson plan, or you're going to understand the Nearpod lesson plan. You see, this is a very crucial step in teen engagement that a lot of gurus miss out. It is that the ability to actually understand the lesson plan. You see, a lot of our team here, Subhash, Shankarana is here, and then we have Chandramouli, we have Prashant here. They have all created a lesson plan. So if you're a creator, you'll be creating a lesson plan. If you're a person who is getting the lesson plan, then your job will be understanding the lesson plan. I always feel that both the creating part and the understanding part is no different. You're trying to understand. So you all agree. Yeah, I'm very sure the person who created lesson plans, they agree that it's not an easy task. Once you get a particular topic that you want to do, say a particular chapter from the my dear students, even the creator of the lesson will have to first go and look into many references. You're going to read around, go to Google and see ways that he can actually put this lesson and interact with him. Then he has to talk with a lot of different people to find out ideas on how to make a particular session or a particular part of the sessions interesting. Then he adds it into the particular Nearpod slide and he tries it out. Is it interesting? What do you think? What do you guys think? Is it interesting? Do you think the teams will like it? He has to go into the mentality of a team to understand how is it going to be for the teams, whether they are going to understand. So there is a lot of things that happens in order to understand a lesson. And I feel that gurus who actually get this lesson, they actually have to take time to sit on the sofa, open their laptop. Today, I'm going to decide to understand this lesson and look at this lesson and go through it one by one to understand what is going on with this lesson plan. What is this lesson plan trying to do, and how can I understand it better? Because if you don't understand, how are they going to understand? So you have to first grasp the entirety of what the lesson plan is. So that is the third step that is most important. So for you to actually create an engagement, what I'm doing here, I'm actually building a base for you to be able and allow yourself to go into the realm of engaging with your teams. The next step is personalizing your lesson. So all of you know, even in your physical lessons that you receive, or even in the online lessons that you receive, you know that these lesson plans are not the Bible. Okay, please and take note of this. This lesson plan that has been created, they have been created with a particular framework. So there's a framework that has been given in the lesson plan. It has a certain objective and outcome, and it follows the SSE, SSEHV models that we have. Like for example, the head, heart, and hand delivery and the objective that we deliver. So we have that flow on how we start off with an activity. We try to connect with the teams using this activity and everything. And eventually the lesson will flow like a waterfall to the finale delivery of Swami's message. And that gives the team the essence of, connecting. But the bits and pieces inside the lessons, those things are definitely modifiable. You can actually look at this lesson and personalize this lesson plans that you see. So I'm going to give you an example now how I do personalization of lessons, because me and Satisha and a lot of us, we have created lesson plans. And I also have the advantage of, because I'm doing adolescent health with my PhD, so I create lesson plans for the Kementerian Bahagian Kesihatan Mental. So the Minda Sehat lesson plan, the Dr. Muda lesson plans that you see for your kids in the school, they have been created by the team that I have, that we are consist of in the Putrajaya. So when we do these lesson plans, these are the steps that we follow. So there's an official step, but I'm going to make this easy for you. I'm just going to put it in this way. So you can see in personalizing a lesson plan that you receive, you have this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 steps that you actually take through yourself in order to understand. So if you can see here, the first step here is what do my students want? And this is actually the second step that I gave you for the team engagement pathways. The second step that I gave you previously, the second step, get to know and get feedback. So this is most important. You cannot personalize a lesson plan just based on what you think. You say, you look at the lesson plan and I think this part is not right. I will take out this part and put this part. No, you can't do that, because you want to personalize it according to your students' need. For example, I've given here an example, parent cyberbullying. So I'm going to show you a lesson plan. This is if you guys remember, this is the physical offline lesson plan that we had previously. This is the Soros and delusion lesson. This is our first module of our physical lesson, the offline lessons. So you can see here Soros and delusion. This is the first lesson plan that was created in 2015. This is the original unrevised lesson plan. So you can see here we have one objective here. So when I received the lesson plan, there was one outcome, and there was this nice video clip and everything that float on, and then you had the Christina Aguilera lyrics on how they can learn about Soros and delusion, and then it ended with the guided meditation. So what happens when we receive this first, what you call this is, we actually spoke to the teams and asked them. The first thing that you want to do is you want to ask, what exactly is the cause of their Soros? You cannot go on ranting about Soros and delusion, but at the end of the day, the main reason of why your teens are having Soros and delusion, your group of teens, is because they have some issues with their parents, or they have issues. The biggest issue that the teens have is actually cyberbullying, or the biggest issue that your teen have is MCO. So you have to cater your lesson plan to actually include this latest or this relevant things into that lesson plan. So what we did was, when we received this first lesson plan, which was a very general lesson plan, you all know that in 2017 we actually revised a lesson plan, and we actually gave this lesson plan. This is the second revised lesson plan that I'm showing to you. So this is the second revised lesson plan that we actually went through. We spoke with the teens, we spoke with a lot of gurus, and we wanted to fit the lesson plan to actually meet with the objectives of the heart, head, and hands. So we actually, the same lesson plan previously, we actually revised it in such a way where it used the same kind of tools and everything. But what it does here is that it added more of the teens' latest predicaments and all that problems. So when you go through the lesson plan, you will know, right? So that is what happened there. So this is, for example, cyberbullying. So you might want to see whether your lesson plan, fits into that cyberbullying essence. And then what happened was, we got more feedbacks from the gurus, we got more feedbacks from the teens and everything. And currently, which is not released yet, we have actually revised it to the third revision of the lesson plan, which is this. This is the second revision. Sorry, this is not yet released, but I'm just showing to you how we have actually modified it to actually have much more clearer goals and objectives, and actually we have a much more nicer flow of the lessons, and each of the parts gives you some tips on where you can actually personalize this particular lesson. So what I'm saying is, this lesson plans, they are always evolving to fit your teens, the important aspects of what your teens are having at that point of time, and what your teens need, and what the guru's feedback. And then when you read through this lesson plan, you need to ask yourself the question, will my students understand this? Will it relate to their need? For example, if you see the latest lesson plan here, so you see that one of the objective here, understanding the importance of goals, support, and resilience in avoiding sorrow and its connection to the Purusharthas. So Purusharthas is the 4 goals. But you know, as a person who is doing this, we are doing this in the level of, you know, students would have gone through group 1, 2, 3, so they should know some basics. But what if your students are new? What if your students, their group of students, have not gone through the group 1, 2, 3 syllabus, and you know they wouldn't know anything about what Purusharthas are? So it is important for the gurus to know the level that your teens come in. You cannot just take this lesson and just deliver to them, this is Purusharthas, this is what it is and everything, and at the end of the day your students never even understood what Purusharthas was. So this is important for the gurus to actually understand, will this lesson relate to their need, and how much of this lesson you need to personalize. For my example, there was a class that we need to deliver to one of the students in an estate where almost all the students there, they only speak Tamil. They can't speak English. So what we had to do is we had to personalize quite a number of what the lesson is to actually deliver it in Tamil to these teens and to make them understand. So we need to change the Purusharthas to Tamil delivery way to make them understand what are these 4 goals, the Dharma, Kama, Moksha, what are these 4 goals, and how do we actually deliver them to this kind of teens. So that is the second level in personalizing. The third thing is, what are the main themes and framework? This is extremely important. Sometimes in trying to change the lesson, what we do is we dilute the lesson just too much. You see, every lesson, they come with a certain objectives and they have a way of bringing the lesson. We have had experiences where gurus, what they do is they look at the whole lesson, they realize that, you know what, it's very hard for me to run this activity. This activity is so hard to do. This particular earlier session, it takes a lot of time. I'm going to skip the introduction, I'm going to skip the body, I'm only going to do the conclusion, which is a lecture base. You just put on the slide and you just show what Swami has said about Purusharthas, what Swami has said about Gurus. You can do it, you still fulfill the 3 objectives, but what happens is that flow on how you deliver it to the teens to make them understand, that is gone. You have diluted it too much. So you have always have to ask yourself, when you look at the lesson, what are the main themes and the framework of the lesson? What are the lesson objectives and what are the main themes? Like for example, in the sorrow and delusion, the main themes are you talking about personality, the goals, support and resilience, and what can the Sai organization offer in trying to allay the sorrows and delusions of teens. This has to be there. But what you do in order to make them understand this is up to you, and how you can change this, right? So only when these 3 things are clear, then you actually change to adapt to students' need. And how do you do this? I'll give you an example that I did. For example, I'm going to show you the sorrows and delusion lesson. So you can see here the first thing it says here, right? Introduction, silent sitting in prayers, present PowerPoint slide, and then the first question it asks the student this set of questions. What do you think are the commonest reasons that lead to long-term depression among teens? So, and then I put here 15 minutes. So we have put here 15 minutes. But sometimes what happened was, I thought that, 15 minutes of asking them what is wrong with them or what is their issues and what is causing their long-term depression is not going to be enough for me to know what is it that I can share with my teens after this. So what I did was, I just took out this introduction session and I actually did this whole session as a town hall session. We did the whole session as a 1.5 hours town hall session where we could actually exactly pick out what the teens are. And then on the other week, the next week, what I did was, I went straight to this body lesson to do this personality color test. And even in this personality color test, I realized that a lot of what this teen was saying in this part of the session when I did the town hall was about cyberbullying, a lot about how they engage themselves wrongly online and everything. So what I did was, in this personality color that I'm sharing, I actually added a part of using the personality colors to relate to how they comment online and how they do status sharing online. I inserted that activity into it to make it more relevant for the students. This is how you change and adapt to students' needs. And of course, a lot of us will always miss this test run. Test run is extremely important. And I think, Brother when we were going through a mock run of this whole workshop as well, Minaka and even Chandramouli and all these people, they said collaboration is extremely important among gurus, especially when it comes to group 4. So I have, like for example, I have a team that I have my wife, Mitran, Subhash, and all these people. So we actually get their feedbacks. We actually run some of these lessons with them to understand what they feel about how we run this lesson. So we run this with another guru. We run this with some students. We run this with some young adults who have graduated to see what they think about the lesson. And this is extremely important for us to understand where we might have gone wrong. So this team and collaboration, guys, is extremely important. You cannot work alone. This is a togetherness. This is an effort together. You have to have a team so that you can actually build this program, build this lesson together. And at the last part, after you have done completely, made a beautiful lesson and you're very confident that you're able to deliver this engagingly, the last question is you're going to ask is the very basic question, whether this whole lesson, this one lesson, is it too long? Where can I divide this lesson? Is it sticking to the framework and the main objective? So at the end of the day, it must adhere to the basic adolescent and SSEHV model. So this is the last thing you need to go through back and answer. And if it doesn't adhere, you need to go back into that loop and find a way on how you can make it so that it still adheres to the flow and also the lesson plan. This is just a simple. I hope it's simple. I'm not too sure how to simplify it more than this in order for you to understand. What is happening and how do you personalize a particular lesson. And of course, before you actually, so once you have personalized lah, you katakan you should nicely have a nice lesson layout. Now, guys, is where I'm going to talk to you about adding the spice, like salt B, adding the spice to the lesson. Now, this is the most, this is not the most important thing I would say, but this is the most interesting thing. I think most of the time when Satisha said, Tawa and Prashan are going to talk about teen engagement, you thought, okay, straight away they're going to talk about how we're going to deliver the lesson in a very interesting way. Now, you cannot deliver a lesson in an interesting way, which is this step 5, if you do not do step 1 to 4. Your step 1 to 4 has to be done before you come to step 5. So I'm going to tell you today that adding the spice to the lesson is only step 5. So it is in step 5 where you will actually add the spice to the lesson. And there's 2 spices that is most importantly you need to add, which is salt and the pepper, which is the approach and delivery, right? So the approach is the salt, the delivery is the pepper. So this adds to the lesson, and this is the real thing that actually creates the true engagement with the team. So I'm going to share to you some approaches that we have used before, and some, I think I will also ask Prashad or others here to also share. I think Subhash and Chandramouli or even Shankaran would have Minaka here, Satisha is here, would have a lot of stories to share on how different approaches was done. I think this is a very important thing for us to do. This is the reason why the question were asked. So once you have done that step 1 to 4, then you come to step 5. Then you ask yourself, what are the online interaction platforms that you can use to actually enhance the learning? For example, in this essence, we are using the Nearpod. So Nearpod, it's like let's say Nearpod makes it easy for you. It's very easy for some of us to create an interaction just by talking. So what we do is just simply use Nearpod. So even though how you talk and whatever you do and everything, what you're doing is you're just using Nearpod to actually get your team's engagement. That is one approach that you can use. The approach that we are using in Penang at this point in time is gamification. So what we have done is, if you all remember the power of discrimination lesson in the last year's lesson 9, it's a game of finding gems, right? So we are actually getting the teams to actually play a game and look and finding for these gems, and this gem contains the essence of Chinagata story, right? So I'm sure you have seen. I'm going to just share it with you so that you can see this. So you can see here, this is the what you call that. Let me exit from this first, and then I'm going to show to you this particular PowerPoint. So this is what we do with our teams. So what we call, in order to play the power of discrimination game, right? So we have been playing almost the 8th session. So I think Venika has also attended the session. So we do it as a radio DJ style delivery, and we actually play this game with our team. So you can see how they have to click a particular gem trail. They need to open up doors. We use an online interactive platform called Kahoot to actually make them choose between. So if I click the blue gem trail here, you can see how the game actually brings to the PowerPoint slide, and they need to choose between a rocky dry path or the bright and damp pathway. So in this choosing, they will actually use an online interactive Kahoot platform to actually choose it using their phone. So it will come up in the screen on how many percent of the people have chosen either the red or the blue one. So let's say if we have 14 people and 12 of them have chosen to go for the blue one, we'll actually choose the blue one. So it actually engages them to think about, what is it, the clue that is given within this game, in order for you to actually, move ahead in this game, and at the same time learn some Chinnakatha. So all of those gems are based on Chinnakatha lessons. Posting letters, I think I have told Prasad, there was some sessions that we did. What we did was we got the addresses of our teams and we wrote letters. We said like, dear Malini or dear Dharani, and we wrote, we have not seen you so much in the class. Are you having trouble? Do you do this? We have missed you so much. I missed the way you sang this bhajan. Please come back. We need to hear you sing this bhajan. And we actually sign it off. We actually handwrite it. We sign it off and we actually post it to their house. And when they reach the letter, what's the first thing that will happen? What's the first thing that we got was a call. We got a call and I received your letter and thank you so much for sending me the letter. I'm so sorry, I can't able to attend the class because of blah blah blah. And the next class, what happens? They come to the class. So this is another way for you to engage with your teams. You can just send a letter to them. If you think that calling each one of them one by one, then just write a letter. Please don't type it if possible. Try to write it. I know it's hard. Try to write it and send a nice letter. The Prasad had a nice thing. I said send a card. Then Prasad said no, please, write and send. They will feel so personalized, particularly. Thank you, Prasad. And then we have self-paced reflection or learning. You can give a lot of things for the teens to go back and look off the class. For example, they suggest the movies to watch. I think Prasad has a nice thing. He said yesterday their classes, they suggest some movies that they can go back and watch. And this creates a self-paced learning where they can go back home and off. Live drama and puppet show. I've not done this, but I think Bangsa or maybe Klang Center have done live drama and puppet show. This is also interesting. It's not you trying to show a video, in front of your laptop, you actually act. You actually do some kind of acting, you dress up yourself like a clown and you say today's class is about this, and you actually do this. You do puppet shows. I think puppet show we did once, we had one of our puppet to actually speak. So we said, okay, now we're going to introduce our new friend. What was our friend's name again? I forgot what was our friend's name, but we introduced this particular friend and then we started talking, hello people. So we had a very nice way. And you know what was the best part? Best part is in that lesson, I actually brought my son in, my 5-year-old son. For those of you who are married, this is actually an advantage. You bring your son in, and my son started talking about Lori and how he was communicating with this puppet. And all the teens there had a good laugh seeing my son communicating with the puppet. So it's a very nice way. You can do a staged comedy and pranks. It happened to me once. It was supposed to be a prank. I was trying to do some kind of stunt in front of my laptop. But unfortunately, what happened was my chair broke. I fell. And all the teens had a good laugh seeing me fall. Okay, sometimes that happens in front of your entire class. But it was supposed to be staged, but it became impromptu. But it's good in such a way. Online pairing is also another way that I think Bangsa, if I'm not mistaken, SS3 or Bangsa's, Prasad said somebody does it. So any other sharing that we have, Prasad, or anybody else, any other ways of you guys, different ways that you have approached class?
Well, yes, and I think just to elaborate more on the points that we've already given, like Anna just mentioned, the staged comedy and also the online pairing, where you can actually pair up two different people to maybe research on a topic. Let's say next week we are going to talk about this. So this person and that you can just identify, like you just now mentioned, Dharini and Malini, both of you all will be talking about this topic next week. So automatically you do what? You give them that sense of responsibility to be involved in not only just learning the class, but also involved in like the class itself, like planning the class out. So they'll be doing their research, although it's going to be like a 1 minute, 2 minute kind of situation. Next week, when they share their opinions and also on what the topic was, automatically what happens is that they have that, the sense of belonging. So that's very important as well, Anna.
Okay, thank you so much, Prasad. Anybody else have anything interesting to share? If not, I'll just go on to the pepper. So this is the salt, right? I just told you this is the salt. So I will go on to the pepper part of it. So pepper is the delivery method. So just now I was talking to you about approaches. Pepper is how do you actually deliver your whole lesson, right? So there's a lot of ways that you can deliver a lesson. One of the boringest ways is definitely lecture style. I've seen myself, I attended my PhD lessons and you have your lecturer just in front of you and saying, okay, people, move on to slide 2, and then you just talk and talk and talk in front of the screen. It is a delivery method anyway, but of course, it has less engaging method in that side. what me and my wife do is we do radio DJ style. Okay, you all know lah. How many of us actually, you know, sit in the car for hours and hours in a traffic jam and we listen to radio DJ talk and we do not get bored. We are not watching anything, we are not playing anything, we are not interacting with anything. All we are doing is listening to two people talking, but we can listen to them for hours. Exactly right. So that is exactly what we do in a class. So this is Satisha. She has always dreamed to become a radio DJ. So it was very easy for me to do this. So she has all. She at last found her kind of like her moment lah. When I said that, you know what, Satisha, will do this as a radio. So both of us will do like this morning talk show. அப்புறம் நீங்க சொல்லுங்க Satisha, நீங்க என்ன நினைக்கிறீங்க? And then we'll do this with this. I think Venika has came for one of our classes and we saw how teens, they were very excited in engaging with us. They will open their mic, they'll start laughing into it, and that is one style can we do it. The other style is drama style. You can actually take one whole lesson and actually deliver it as a drama. Get your father, mother, your sisters, brothers, or whoever that you have around you to actually act the whole drama. You can do it as a storytelling style. We had Chandramouli and Chandramouli Shubhas doing it as a guided storytelling. We can do it chatting. One of the class, I actually said, you know what, you all like the chat box so much, right? What we're going to do today is we're just going to chat. All we're going to do is we're going to chat. And we chatted for an hour with this team. Chat. And we just finished with that one chatting thing. They just felt like they were just online. But please don't do this too much because it's going to really affect, you know, they're already chatting in their social media, now they're going to do this. And then we had live video, like, oh, this is very interesting. I think in our face-to-face or our physical lessons, right, we have the living skills, right? We do this basic CPR, we do some cooking basic cooking and all these kind of things. So what happened was, in one of my University Malaya lessons that was delivered from one of our lecturer, they actually taught us on basic CPR. What they did was, they did not show a video. You see, showing a video is mainstream, okay? You just kids, you can watch this YouTube video and then you show a video and somebody doing the CPR. Okay lah, some teens will watch, some teens won't watch. But imagine this, I am lying on the floor and Satisha CPRing. Okay, not Satisha, gender segregation. Maybe my brother CPRing on me, and then they will see. So my brother will lie down and I'll teach. Okay, guys, this is how you do a CPR. So you see, you conduct a live living skills lesson in front of the camera. And I'm sure you all have seen in Facebook, right, the Tasty Vegetarian or some cooking shows where they actually show on how you cook and everything. So one day you can just tell the thing, you know what, teens, I'm going to teach you how to do kesari. So today we're going to learn how to make kesari, and then you will bring your camera to the kitchen and you say, so these are the things that you need. So the camera is just in front of your face, just showing the things, and you're just cooking and everything. It just takes around 30 to 35 minutes. And so you all have learned kesari. Please try doing kesari at home for your mothers and fathers, and don't just let your mother do kesari. You all also do kesari, enjoy the kesari and everything. So you know, you can take a live video lesson and actually share this with them. And the last one that I'm going to share, this was a very, very, very weird method. That I was attending one of the adolescent mental health session with one of the Australian teachers in Monash. So what I was supposed to take, the module that I took was on cyberbullying. So this particular teacher had to share a lesson on personal information sharing. So that day, when there's 15 of us in the class, when we went to the class, the teachers really came to in front of this one and said, guys, I'm so sorry, I can't take the lesson today. I'm involved in a very huge problem. My laptop is being hacked by somebody. So I'm so sorry that I can't take and everything. Are you guys okay with it? So we were like so concerned, like asking, what happened? Is there any issues and everything? And he said, no, yeah, I need your help. That would be very great for you. So what happened was, I shared this particular, so he started sharing about, I shared this particular information on these things, and this happened. Somebody is doing this to me. Is there any way? You know what we did? We started Googling on how to help our teacher. So we started Googling, and then we said, you know, Google said that you can do this thing. You should report, sir. And how do I report? He said. Then we actually found out ways on how to report and everything. Then he asked us, oh, thank God. So we actually solved his issue. You know, he was screen sharing his. Thank God, you guys have helped me so much, and everything. And then I'm so sorry. I think we learned a lesson here. You know, you should always. And then we also started, teacher, you should always remember, you know, these things. You know, people do. You know what? At the end of the day, the guy started laughing. Laughing, and he said, you know, guys, what happened? I just took a class. This is a class, and the title of the class is Sharing Your Personal Information. And we were like, what? That was a class? So sometimes you could do that. That was a very relatable class where you actually share your own personal problems to your teens and ask their guide, "Yo, நீங்க எப்படி help me to solve this problem lah?" And the teens will actually give you a lot of answers, feedbacks, and everything. And using those answers and feedback, you can actually bring the teens themselves to understand what happened in that particular. So this is a problem-solving style that you can. So I'm going to go a bit faster because it's taking a lot of time. My wife is already staring at me. So this some tips and tricks, okay, in taking your online classes. So there was the salt and the some tips and tricks. You don't really need to have a lot of fancy writings, fancy PowerPoint slides, and fancy videos. So I'm giving you an example. My slide is white with very boring black and white words and very boring words coming up. But in order to make a class engaging, you know your teens. A lot of people, a lot of gurus will think that, you know, to make my class more engaging, fancy, and everything, I'll put a lot of videos, I put a lot of music and everything. No, it doesn't work that way. You really need to understand how your class is flowing and try to engage in a very. You have to engage with the teens instead of allowing your videos or your fancy slides to actually engage with your teens. So this fancy slide and video doesn't actually go a long way to actually help. And the other tip that I'm sharing you is you need to be extremely confident. I have seen a lot of times when my sister used to attend her online classes in her university, where the teacher will be like, she doesn't know how to mute, she's not unmuting, and then she'll be talking, they all cannot listen and everything, and then she'll be lost on this online world trying to find her ways, and then, you know, she'll come so close to the camera and like, you know what happens is these teens, right? They are teens, right? You cannot say anything about that. They start laughing, they start mocking and all these things. That is why I say the basics is very important. You need to know exactly what you're doing online in order to manage yourself, and you need to show that confidence online when you go. You need to. That is why I was telling Prasad and a lot of people, in front of the screen, you need to be expressive. You cannot just look at the screen and like, teens share this interactive slide at this. So they're just going to look at the face. You need to show some stuff. I have brought a particular like a stick in front and start wearing sticks in front, bottle, drinking, a lot of stuff. I used to bring my son into the class and ask him to show his toy, and then I'll be like, okay, enough. You have to go to. I need to joke with my son. So a lot of this thing your teens are watching, you know, they keep looking at your video, what's happening. And sometimes we all say, you know, they're going on talking about something in the chat box when I'm here talking. It's because it happens in the class also. When we're talking, they'll just talk, right? And then we have to throw a duster on them or throw a marker on them. You know, basically, that stuff happens online also. Like, it's the same psyche you need, right? So it's just happening. So you just, if it happens one or twice, it's actually okay. Once or twice, some things will go away. But if it happens all the time, right? You need to actually ask yourself the question, is my class engaging? Why do they keep talking about other stuff every time I take a class, right? And then keep your class simple and to the point. A lot of times what happens is you get a topic called Purusharthas, for example. We will go and find every single things that Swami has said about Purusharthas, and Swami must have said thousands of words on Purusharthas, and you try to like, oh, it's very important for my team to know this, you know. Oh, it's also very important for my teams to know this. It's also very important for my teams to know this. And you put all that and you start sharing one by one by one by one by one. No, it doesn't work that way. You need to, that's why I say it's important for you to attend the basic training so that you know how a basic lesson plan goes. And simply within a 45 to 1 hour time, you just conduct this class and just let them know what they need to know. You know, and you know, as long as you know that they have learned something, keeping it simple and straight to the point. The other tip that I'm giving you is empathy. So this is a very important tip. Always think from your student's perspective. Do not, I mean, it's good for you to think from your perspective. Yes, it is important, but you always need to go back to how your teens feel, how your teens are doing. Are your teens listening? How is it that you can do a lesson so that your teens can also engage together? Empathy is extremely important in understanding how your teens are and delivering a student-centric lesson. The other tip is you have to learn a lot of online tips and tricks, you know. I think I have a few 2 minutes to show. I'm going to show you, it's nothing related to this class, right? I'm going to show you a tip here. And if you know means good luck. Do you know that, you know, the simple, you guys see this, right? The simple, this fancy, or this teen youth photos and everything, especially the simple thing. Do you know I created it myself? I didn't actually, you didn't actually have to go to your particular Google and search this kind of thing. Sometimes we need to do all this simple stuff like the transparent image and everything. Do you guys know that there is something called a Google Auto Draw? And you can actually, what you guys can do is, you guys can actually draw whatever you want. Say you want to show a cup to your teen. You guys can actually draw a particular cup to your team and actually engage your change this into an auto draw function. Let me just reset this. So Google has this auto draw function, right? Do you mean, say, it gives an example of all these things, and you can actually take a cup, right? And you can actually download this particular cup. So this is the cup that you like. There's so many different kind of cup lah. So or you can actually download this. So my laptop is lagging a bit lah. So sorry. Yeah. So you can actually download this. So the option is here in this burger sign here. You can actually download this. Then you can go to your PowerPoint presentation. You can actually insert this particular image of this cup into this particular PowerPoint slide. You know, you just want to put a cup. Sometimes you can't find this picture, and sometimes the picture is not royalty free. You cannot share this slide because it is it belongs to other people and everything. So you find this particular cup. Hold on. You find this particular cup. So what happens is you actually insert this cup into this thing, but you realize that it's not a PNG image, which means it doesn't have a transparent background. So it's a big image. So of course it's not practical for you to use this one big image, right? So what you do is the newer, later PowerPoint versions has an option called remove background. You can actually click on remove background and you click on the areas that you want to remove. Say this area, and this area, and then you click keep changes. What happens is now this thing is actually a transparent image. You can actually add a text box on top of this image and everything, and it becomes a transparent what you call image. I'll just add a text box here. You see, if I add a text box here, it actually creates it on top of the image itself. All right. So this what I'm saying is it is actually tips and tricks that you guys can actually go and look in online to actually enhance your class. And of course, your lesson plan is not your Bible. And the last one is you always have that help button. If you have any trouble, always remember, collaborate, press the help button. There's a big team here who can always help you, no problem. And of course, at the end of the day, you always have to evaluate and always improvise your lesson, get constant feedbacks, continuously learn, improvise. So this is one way that we actually, so after every 4 or 5 lessons, what we do is in our Penang online class, we actually get feedback from our teams. We ask them, why do you join the class? Share 3 things that you like about the class, share 3 suggestions that you have to improve the class. And in last, we get these teams to actually tell us what they feel good about the class, what they feel bad about the class. And we actually improvise our classes according to what the teams think about these classes. This is important. So, I'm not going to share this last part where you need to connect with Swami. I think Satisha will do a good job in that. So thank you so much. I hope I have actually shared with you interesting tips and tricks and interesting ways or a very easy way on how you could engage with teams and everything. I'm now going to share or pass this to my wife Satisha.
Okay. Thank you so much, Brother Tawa. There was a lightning speed of speech, but don't worry because the sessions are recorded. Later, please, dear gurus, you can make it slow-mo and then you can share it on your face. Okay. So like how Tawa said, personalization is very important. But then, the basic steps also need to be done. And the last part, which is connecting to Swami, he always does it to me because he feels that I do that much better. Because for me, at the end, we are using this platform to connect our needs in a way that we see the Swami in us and also in them. So it is actually Swami to Swami in that sense. For us to do the whole thing, connection with Swami is very important. Like for example, some of the questions like they go over limit chat box. How do I cope with chat box? And Brother Prashant said, if they sometimes still chat and take the class, go to their level. So sometimes we don't know where is our borderline. Sometimes we want to, but we don't know whether it's the right thing to do. This is where Swami comes in. Because if our connection with Swami is very strong, we will definitely can hear Swami's voice from within, where Swami will guide us, talk about this or touch this topic. all this will definitely come to us in that sense. So connection to Swami is ultimate step, if you ask me. Then comes everything else. So I want to give you a 2-minute break. If you want to go for a bio break, drink water, go to the washroom, please take a 2-minute break. I hope 2 minutes is enough for you all. So I will start back my session on personalizing Nearpod lesson at 11:22. Okay, now it's 11:20. Take a 2 to 3 minutes break and please join us shortly. Thank you. Okay, Sairam, welcome back. So I hope you had a very quick break to drink your water or go to the washroom. Okay, so my part here, it will be on personalizing your Nearpod lesson. Okay, why we are focusing on Nearpod? Because as you all know, currently the National Teen Youth Team has been giving you resources in Nearpod. Okay, so what we're going to do is to look at it. So let me go to my screen. So it's much more easy for me to, yeah. Okay, so in order to personalize your lesson, Nearpod lesson, even before we go into personalizing your Nearpod, one thing that you basically need, okay, one basic things that you need to do is to have a video conferencing tool. So it can be a Google Meet or Google Zoom, Google Meet or Zoom, sorry, okay, whichever that has video and audio tool where you can communicate with your team, and also a student engagement platform. Why we need a student engagement platform is because we are dealing with group 4. So as the brothers previously, they spoke about the attention span and all these things. So we need something that is engaging for the teens to participate. And now that they went through their mainstream education with their school teachers and all, mereka sudah pandai lah. What I will say is they will enter the classroom, and then we don't know whether they are there or not. So we have to keep calling their name. So when we have engaging tool like Nearpod, we know that they are participating and they are not just stagnant. They are doing something, they are interacting and so on. So that is what we saw by our own self in the first part of the lesson, when we all became the teens and participated in the Nearpod lesson. Of course, the drawing and sharing, it gives a lot of platform to laugh and share, and same time, we talk in depth about that particular topic in that sense. Okay, when it's come to video conferencing tool, even if you notice today we used Google Meet because it doesn't have a time frame. Like if it's Zoom, it has only 40 minutes, and there was recent breaching in the data and all these things. So Google Meet, it allows 100 participants and there's no time limit. Okay, from your Google account, you can immediately go to your calendar, set a meeting, and bam, you can start a lesson. More information on this, we have created a video. Mitra and I have created a video on this, which we will share later in the Google Classroom link. Okay, Google Classroom, we will share this video. So after this particular session, you can always go and watch that at your own feasible time. Okay, now what I'm going to teach you today is it's my professional hazard. I'm sorry, we are not teaching anybody here, we are sharing. Okay, so what we are going to share here today is communicating through Google Classroom, how we can make use Google Classroom as a platform between our video conferencing tool and student engagement platform, how this Google Classroom can come in between, and also personalizing your Nearpod in that sense. Okay, playing video and audio. Okay, these are the basic things that I want to show. But as I said, if not me, as my husband said just now, even Brother Prashant said just now, before we could even think about personalizing a lesson, first thing first, we must understand our students' commitment and needs. Whether they can do anything extra beyond your 1.5 hours lesson or 1 hour lesson. Okay, when are they able to come online? Okay, are their parents having any strict rules about using devices? All those information will be helpful to give them some extra work or offline work, something like that. Just check with them. Secondly, read the lesson thoroughly and understand the lesson outcome, because we don't want to dilute the lesson. So understanding what we are trying to achieve at the end of the day is very important before even we can think about personalizing our lesson. And visualize the whole lesson flow. Okay, the moment you get a Nearpod lesson with you, try to think of the whole thing. Imagine how does it go and everything. If let's say you can't imagine, or you think it's going to be very monotonous or one way thinking, if you do alone, get your team to come in. Again, collaboration helps a lot in this sense. So the seniors, the juniors, it will be a good, amazing collaboration in order to do an amazing lesson online. Like how just now when we started, Shankarana ended the whole lesson with a beautiful bhajan. Okay, there was storytelling. So although it's an online platform, we might think, oh, how to do SSE class in an online platform. Actually, that lesson was a very good example there. Even in an online platform, we can still use the 5 teaching method where we usually use in SSE, like singing bhajans, telling stories, having some activities, those kind of things. So with that, yes, what do you need? First of all, an account in Nearpod. Again, this is just when you go to Nearpod website, it will ask you whether you want to log in or sign in. If you're going to sign in for the first time, sign in. Preferably a Google account will be easier because it doesn't ask many questions. Just click using Google account, you're already in a Nearpod account. Okay, and some basic knowledge about various features in Nearpod, because Nearpod is filled with a lot of activities that you can do. Previously, you have to go to different platforms like Kahoot, Mentimeter, blah blah blah. Now Nearpod is an amazing thing where it has everything that you can do online. So just use of that and mix up with your creativity, the spice and so there's add on some spices, and you can already use this Nearpod. Okay, based on the survey question, many of you asked, how do I use Nearpod in a phone, because it's very difficult. Nearpod, if you're a guru, the best way to use Nearpod is laptop, because as a teacher you can't use a Nearpod because as you saw just now, the students view and teachers view are slightly different. So if you are a guru, it's best to use from laptop. But if you're using as a student to draw, to communicate and all these things, they can always do from their phone. Okay, so that is one thing to take note here. Okay, so let me go to the Nearpod web. Sorry. Okay, now is it being shared? Pratava, can you show me what is being shared? Not yet. Sorry. Okay, sorry. Okay, hold on. And a window. Okay, so this should be my window, sharing it. Okay, so you all should be able to see my, yes, this is my Nearpod under my Google account. Okay, so you can see when the national team share our lesson plan, it will first ask you, it will come with the code like content creators have shared a module with you. Would you like to put it in your library? That's how it comes to you in your email when you click on the link. Okay, so when you click it, yes, it automatically go into your Nearpod account. Okay, even if you don't have one, if you click yes, it will automatically create one if you're using a Google account. Google Gmail address. If your email is Gmail address, it will create an account for you. Like that, this is the lesson was shared by previously from the previous lesson given by the national team. So it is already here in my library. This is my Nearpod library, so it's personal. So anything that I change here, it doesn't affect the national main lesson. So don't worry, you can always personalize it. Many of you even scared to touch the slide, thinking that if I change anything here, it's going to change the national lesson plan. No, this is exactly like how it works in Google Drive. Okay, once you download and you put it in your drive, it's not going to make any differences. You can always change it as you want. So when you get this, click on edit. Okay, it should be opening up. Yes, so this was the lesson given by the national team previously on a topic that says be clear and the rest will follow. So if you see here, it goes directly like the flow. Okay, it starts with engaging with the teams and trying to put in, connecting the material world and the material world and the spiritual world, where we show some scientific evidence and what the other scriptures says and all, and then we end it with what Swami says about the topic. So this is the basic head, heart and hand, that kind of flow. So as a guru, let's say if I want to change, what I can do is I can always go here, right click, and it will ask add slide. And under add slide, you can either choose to add a content or add an activity. If let's say I want to do a meditation, okay, a guided visualization meditation. So what I can do is, maybe before telling that, okay, like just now Brother Chandramali said, okay, close your eyes, you are here, and then you are in Puttaparthi, that's one way. Another interesting way that you can do in Nearpod is take them to a field trip. Okay, if I take them to a field trip, it will ask, what do you want to show them? So let's say I want to show them, I've actually did my research. I found a place where I want to bring y'all. So I want to bring y'all to the Himalayas. Okay. So sorry, typo. Okay. So this is the area where I want to bring. So if you want to preview, you can see first. If let's say this is the first time you're watching it, you want to know what is there going to be the 360 view, you can preview it. Since I've already done, I can just click on done. Okay. So this, when I want to start the lesson, I can say, okay, now children, now I'm going to take you to the Himalayas. Now, does the Himalayas show in front of you? Okay. So this particular feature, it will bring us to a field trip. So you can see it is right in front of you. You can see the images. This is actually Himalaya. It is 360-degree view of any cities around the world. So you can pick. So with this, it helps the teens to get, oh, wow, what is this? So they are already engaged. They are already eyes all open, ready to see what is happening in that sense. Now, of course, along with this picture or this visualization of this Himalaya, what will add on is playing a music. So let's say I want to play a music from the instrumental list from Radio Sai. Okay, Radio Sai YouTube, you all know, is been giving us a lot of beautiful instrumental musics. So from there, let's say I want to play. What I can do is I can just go to YouTube and play. Okay, it is playing now for me. You can literally see I can playing it. But can you all hear? Can you hear that music just now? I'm sure you all did not. Okay, I think everybody is a bit tired now. There's no answer coming in. Oh, okay, thanks, Sister Mogana. Yes, there was no music being played. Okay, now this could be a reason where your setup in your Google Meet or Zoom, whichever application that you're using, there is a setup for audio. Okay, so Brother Tawa, you tell me, if I want to play a video like this and I want to play the audio, what should I do, Brother Tawa?
Okay. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show to you how do you actually activate the video part. Okay, on this sorry, the audio from your PC. I mean playing.
Can't hear anything.
Yeah, you cannot hear that.
Oh, okay.
So the audio directly from your PC. So I'm going to present the entire screen so that you all can see how to do this, because a lot of us, we want to play the audios directly from the PC, but some of us aren't able to do it. I've had a lot of questions on how to do this. So the first thing is, now what happens is your microphone is on and it's actually using your normal microphone, which is your default microphone, as you can see here. But what you want to do is you want to go and select stereo mix. Okay, all our computers are building with a function called stereo mix. That is, the stereo mix is equivalent to PC mic lah. Okay, so if you click on stereo mix, it will actually change the microphone to your PC's mic. So then you'll be able to listen to the audio, whatever audio that you play through the PC, instead of this microphone. Then you have to change it back to your normal microphone in order to speak, right? But the problem is, in some laptops, you don't see stereo mix. Everything is microphone. All your communication instrument is microphone. And it commonly happens with those of you who have Windows 10. The earlier Windows, they don't have the issue. But Windows 10, I have no idea why they disable your your stereo mix. So once you enable it once, it will be enabled all the time. So all you need to do is you right click on your sound icon here. As you can see, I'm going to show you. You can actually play this video again to go and see how I do this. You can actually open on your sound settings, right? You go to your sound control panel, and then you see here your recording devices. You only have your microphone array here. You don't see the stereo mix here. So what you want to do is you want to show disabled devices, because this stereo mix has been disabled by Microsoft Windows 10. No idea why, but they have disabled it. So you're going to enable this particular stereo.
Saira Mane, you on mute, Ane? Satishaka, you on mute. So yeah, so this is one of the example given by Brother Tawa on how you can go yourself on mute. So please do take note of the settings. Yeah.
So Guru, I think now you can hear the audio that is being played from Satisha's PC. What I've done is I've just enabled stereo mix in her device so that she can play it from her PC. So what I need to do in PC now to go back to her microphone is she needs to go back and change back from stereo mix to normal mic so that she can now speak through it and it doesn't use the PC mic anymore.
Yes, Akka, we are able to hear the sound in from your device.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, so sorry just now because of some error that's happened in my laptop suddenly, so I couldn't unmute myself. So that was the reason it was keep muting. When we changed that, I think my laptop just had a shock of changing the setting after so long. But not to worry, if you're still not covered, we will do a screen recording and we will share as well on how to change this.
Yeah, Minaka is right. Actually, if let's say you're playing a video directly from Chrome tab, you can actually use the Chrome tab audios directly itself. But if you're going to play an audio from your PC, let's say, or from Windows Media Player and everything, then you need to really activate your stereo mix. It is all built in your laptop. So for some reason, Windows 10 and disables it. You can enable it so that you can always switch between stereo mix and microphone to actually do your PC audios and all that.
Okay, but not to worry. This is only when you want to play along with Nearpod. Nearpod's one advantage is when you put a YouTube link within it as how do you say? Okay, let me just escape this. Students preview. Okay, when you put in a slide, okay, again, add slide. Sorry. Window, share. Okay, sorry. Okay, so now let's say when you go back to your Nearpod, if you want to add slide and add content, it will ask you if you want to put a video, okay, or usually it's video. So when you click on this, it will automatically ask you to put in a YouTube link. So once it's there, like how previously in our lessons, we can watch it at our pace. So different students, like how we watch the video on Geeta Auntie, it's the same thing. So it's there, so you don't have to worry much. But this is a bit advanced. If you want to change between stereo mix and all these things, this is how you do. Okay, that is one way to personalize your lesson. Okay, another way is, like for example, when I went through this lesson, I was asking whether I could finish all these on time. So I thought maybe some part of the lesson I can cover even before the lesson. So one such thing area in this lesson was knowing about what was chariot. Okay, it had a very important element in it of understanding a chariot before they can answer the further questions in this particular lesson. I thought rather than doing that in the class, I decided to use that in my Google Classroom. Okay, so what I did, I went to Google Classroom. So going to Google Classroom is very easy. Many of our own trainings have covered this. So when you go to Google Classroom from your Google account, I'm sure you can see it. Okay, so I have created a Google Classroom for my class, which is SSE Group 4, just as a demo for now. Okay, so imagine I have put this like something brewing for next class. Watch this video, look closer at the vehicle and do a small research about what could it be. So you might be the lucky winner on that day to share about this. So instead of the video that's given by the team where they have given from a movie, I here put a video from a Prince of Egypt movies because it's a cartoon. I thought maybe this is more, it will be more interesting for my teens in that sense. So I can always personalize in that sense to engage to give to my teens in that sense. So when this particular lesson goes on, I don't have to play the video here. Instead of this, I can do something else that is interesting for my teens in that sense. Like for example, calling out names. Many of you have said that the teens don't want to answer, they are very quiet. So this is one way. So what I did is I used this one particular website called Wheel of Names. I've keyed in some of the random names. These are not exactly my teen's name. So I just put some name. So when you click on it, if you can see, it can actually find a name for you. So in fact, it even celebrates, hey, this boy have gotten, okay, you can see here, yeah, like this, you have a winner. So what I can do is, since they have done this research here in Google Classroom even before the lesson, on the day when I call Kandan, have you done your research? Can you share something about chariot? What is chariot all about? So this is where instead of this, I can do that. So the knowledge, I want them to know about chariot because it's an important part of the lesson, but I don't want to cover it during my lesson. So this is one way I can do. Pre-warm-up before the lesson, we call it. And on the day, we can include something else, like, calling out names in a very interesting way, something like that. Like that, there's another thing in this lesson, which actually talks about Napoleon Bonaparte. Okay, we want the teens to know who is Napoleon Bonaparte. Of course, at this age, maybe they might not know. Okay, if you have that fear, again, I have used Google Classroom to post a picture of him. Okay, so if you can see, I've already put it here. So I said here, it's nearing 2 more days. Do you know who's this man in this picture? Share your findings here below. Now this time I want them to share information here in 1 or 2 sentences as a comment. Okay, so that everybody can read out the comment about Napoleon Bonaparte. Okay, so on the day, instead of asking them, what I did here, I use a 3D roller. Okay, so this is one thing that you can do. You can even go to full screen where the whole screen will become the dice. So if you click on that, it will ask you how many times or how many dices, those kind of things. So just click. So let's say 3. So I can say, okay, teens, now that you have done some research about Napoleon Bonaparte, now why not you share 3 information about him? So like that, you are engaging your teens, and you also have covered some of the part where you can cover before the lesson in Google Classroom. Okay, in this way, they might be also thinking, what is this chariot and Napoleon Bonaparte? What is the connection? What is Satisha Akka going to do this week? So you are also indirectly creating an excitement for the lesson. So in terms of time and all these things, you don't have to worry much because there's always a pre-warm-up things that you can do. Again, this all comes to visualizing your whole lesson, how it is going to go about and how you can personalize your lesson. You can also use activities like there's an activity called Time to Climb. It is actually a gamification feature in Nearpod where you can use this to warm up your lesson. Let's say you want your teens to recall what they have learned last week. Just create some simple questions in this, and it is a real time where you can see actually the avatars that the teens have created, like bear, turtle, those kind of things. They can choose their own avatar before this gamification, the game starts. So you can see if you have answered, you are actually climbing above the mountain. So it is something very fun and engaging for teens to see, a real gamification is happening in front of them. Same time, they are able to recall your lesson. Like, for example, previous to this lesson was about 3D. So you can ask them, what are 3D? What is one way that you are wasting your energy? What activity? Can you name some? Those kind of things you can, rather than asking a poll or a question or an open-ended feature, you can always use this gamification concept built within Nearpod. Okay, so when you explore Nearpod, you're able to know how all you can actually personalize your particular lesson in Nearpod itself. Now, okay, I've done all this. I'm happy with my lesson. Now, I realize there is there's one part where there is a satsang area where you have to share your thoughts. So this is the part I want to how to call that, I want my teens to talk to me, but I also want to know whether they are really there, whether they are serious in answering or not. So if I click on preview, okay, so when I do this, I won't be able to see my teens. Let's say all of them have on their videos, so they will be only talking, but I can't see. And same time, I need to, let's say, project this particular question, okay, to ask them what they think and all these things. Now, how do I do this? Again, Brother Tawa, my techie guy, can you show me how can I do this?
Okay, guys, I'm just going to teach you some tips and tricks with your screen sharing. Okay, there's a lot of things that you can do with your screen sharing so that it fits to how you want to present. Like, the most common thing that the gurus will ask is when they are presenting their PowerPoint slide, the PowerPoint slide is in full screen, so they are not able to view the chat box, or they are not able to view the students' videos and everything. So what happens here is, the easiest way is to get two people to help you. Another one guru to actually look at the chat box and another one person. But what if you're the only person in your, so in my classes, most of the time I'm the only person. So I have to go around looking for ways on how to do things. So one of the easiest way is that once you actually, am I sharing the whole screen? So I'm actually going to share the whole screen so that it's easy for you to see everything that I'm doing. Okay, so if say the most biggest problem that you encounter is this, one of the easiest hack is you presented this full screen and you need to look at the video of your students without exiting this full screen. So there's I think this is the simplest one. I'm teaching this for those who really don't know. There's a simple keyboard function called alternate tab. You can see here, it actually shows the tabs of all your other screens. So all you want to do is from this slide that you are visualizing, you just tap onto the Google Meet slide. So you can now look at your teens chatting and everything and all that, and your PowerPoint presentation is still in full screen. So then you can then switch from this slide to this slide. Okay, so then you can now see this. But the problem with this is when you switch to your chat box, right? Even your teens also can see because you're actually sharing the entire screen. So as you switch here, your teens also will be able to see. They won't be able to see this anymore. Okay, so the other function that that the Google Meet has, I think Zoom also has this, is that your ability to be able to. So I can't show it here because I'm presenting, but you have, when you click on the presenting button here, you will actually have three options. One is you sharing your entire screen, sharing a particular window, any window from your particular desktop, or sharing a particular Chrome tab. So when you are actually using this Nearpod screen here, for example, this Nearpod presentation, say you want to share this particular tab alone, what you do is you can just share if you click on the present now button, all of you can do that. You can see that there's a sharing on a Chrome tab, right? So you can actually share a particular Chrome tab. You'll have the list of all the tabs that are open on Chrome. You can select the tab that you want to share and you can just share that tab. So what I have shared only the Nearpod tab. So you can actually switch around to your Meet classroom and everything. So what I'm doing is I'm actually in Satisha's laptop. I'm really switching to my screen is actually showing the chat box. But what is being shared to the teams is only the Nearpod slide, right? So this makes it easier where you can switch between this and that to actually share this. The other thing that that you can get from this is window sharing. So you have the tab sharing. You also have something called the window sharing. So I'm going to show to you sharing a window. So what I do is in the, let's say I just want to share the Nearpod as a window. So what I do is the Nearpod lesson, this particular tab, I think you're seeing here. So what I do is I take this tab, I move this tab to a new window. So currently this Nearpod is being shared in a different window. And from the presenting screen, so I'm going to click here. If I'm not presenting, when I present here, what I do is I actually select that window that I have actually made, the Nearpod window. And I actually select that particular Nearpod window.
It should be clear. Okay.
Okay. I mean, what you can do is you can actually share the particular window alone, and you can view two of the things. I will show it in my laptop. Sometimes it's a bit hard in the new laptop. I don't know what is happening there. So if I can show it to you in my laptop, I'm now sharing my screen now. You can see here how I've done. So what happens here is that, as you can see in my screen, this is how I can see in my laptop, right? So this is the chat box that is running, and this is the presentation that I'm doing. Right? So this is the chat box. So what happens here is that because I have shared window, my teams are only seeing this. They won't be able to see this. But my side, because I have done I have actually separated this into two, I can actually view the slide, and at the same time I can also view the chat box as well, right? There's a lot of Google Chrome extensions as well that you guys can download. For example, here I'm actually using Dualist to actually create these two screens. There's also Google and everything. Those things I think we'll share in a particular extra other video for you guys to get to know other Chrome extensions as well. And in fact, you guys can do it on PowerPoint as well. So if you guys are looking at this in PowerPoint, you can actually go to slideshow, set up slideshow, and you can actually, instead of present a slideshow on full screen, you can actually present it using a window, right? So if you click present using a window, what happens is when you click the present a PowerPoint, sorry, when you click present a PowerPoint, the PowerPoint doesn't present as a full screen, it presents as a window, right? So you minimize this window, what happens here? Now you have this PowerPoint window here, and you also are able to view your chat box here. So what do you share with your teams? So when you click on the sharing, you only share this window. So your teams will only be able to see this happening, this part of the Blue Jam window, but you will be able to see this, and also see whatever else that you have opened. So you can do whatever you want in your laptop, but your students will only be able to see this particular screen running on. Right? These are some of the tips and tricks, hacks that you can actually go on and play around with screen sharing.
Okay, maybe you can stop sharing. Okay, so that's basically, sorry, let me, okay. So that's basically, you know, how we can personalize our Nearpod lessons. Of course, the audio changing and also like how we said, how to view our own tab and also you know, have an eye on the children, on the teams in that sense. Those kind of technical areas is we consider as advanced. We will always we will do a video recording in that sense. We will do a tutorial on that. We will share it in our Google Classroom that we created specifically for this workshop within a few days. Okay, so we will upload everything that is necessary, especially the technical area, so you can watch back once again. And again, sorry for the glitches, because I know there was some glitch because of my laptop. It suddenly went off. I'm not so sure. Okay, so basically that is how you can actually personalize your Nearpod. When you understand the features of Nearpod, you can see how you can play around, and when you visualize the whole lesson, how it's going to be. Some of the lesson you can actually finish it, cover it even before the lesson, and some of the area you can do it the following week, because the resources that the National Teen Youth is giving is only fortnightly. That means every 2 week, every other 2 week, you get a new resource. So there's always in between, there's an empty slot, empty weekend that you can make use in order to go in depth of this satsang. So this is where that is why sometimes even if you feel there's a lot of things to cover, actually the team that is working on, we always empathize the guru, what are they going to do the next week. So they give extra resources for you to use in that sense. But again, understanding the lesson outcome, visualizing the lesson flow is very, very important, so that you know what are the things that you're going to cover that weekend and what are the things that you want to bring forward the next weekend, or even cover it before the lessons. Okay, so I can't emphasize this enough on visualizing the lesson and planning and having a team to support you. Like today you can see many of the things, although I've learned from him previously, in to show that how a team helps each another is very important, because if anything goes wrong, you always have another person to help you out. In that sense, we are giving enough area for even the young adults to come in as assistant gurus to give some inputs about IT related matters, or even making the team engagement area more spiced up in that sense. Okay, so we are nearing almost 12 o'clock now. So I'm going to show the last part of this particular workshop. Okay, so let me show the last part, which is we as a team. So Subhash, being the National Teen Youth coordinator, and I'm also helping out him in this sense. Okay, and we have now a newly built team, 15 of them all around Malaysia, joining in together in order to create this distance learning module. So these modules will be used until end of December. Yes, we do understand SOPs are already in place. Centers can be open, but again, SSE, it will be still online. I think Minaka is also here. Later, you can even check with her if not mistaken. So it's going to be online until December. So the resources will reach you until end of December. So the teams will be creating and giving you fortnightly. So even after watching all this training, if you still feel that you're not ready to run your lesson by yourself, or you need a team to help you in that sense, we have our national teams online classes in clusters. So we have northern region clusters, central region cluster, and even southern region clusters, where if you have requested, you can always come and put in as give your name. We can include them in our classes. Even if you are having your own classes, but in order to give some differences for your teams, you can always tell us. We can arrange it so that one of the lessons we can like merge you, so you and your team can always come and join with another set of group and see how it works. Sometimes it's nice to see different people in our classes, like you can invite a guest speaker, rather than like today you have 5 different people talking about 5 different things. So that's really spiced up, rather than imagine I am sitting here all day talking for 3 hours. So that's going to be super bored. So you can always have guest speaker. Now we are working borderless, so that gives a lot of advantage for us. This is basic lessons we are talking about. There's also a new initiative created by the Omkar team for the young adults and teens. So Central Region have started that. So what if you're interested, actually they have opened up for all the states to join now. So if gurus have interested, you guys can let us know. We will let you know when are the sessions taking place, and you can always come together. The last Central Region Omkar has 159 young adults and teens. Quite impressive, right? So you can also give the same experience to your teens if you wish to. Very quickly, Minaka, I've said something here. National run classes, if you're struggling. Yes, of course, Akka. Definitely, if you think that you are the only guru, you can't handle everything by yourself with your professional work and your NGO work, we are here to support you. That is my last two point in blue. Okay, empathizing and supporting one another and letting Swami speak through us. If at all you need manpower or resources for virtual classes, you can always let us know. Just drop us a message, WhatsApp, okay, WhatsApp message or an email. We are ready to support you. We know our young adults, we know our gurus. We can be the middleman to support, bridge the young adults and the gurus, and how we can make the whole experience and a wholesome thing for our teens. At the end of the day, we are putting our teens above us, because it's a student-centered learning. We are spending a lot of man hours just because of this. So at the end of the day, if we can't do that, then it's ideal to get support from each another. And also, don't worry about not finishing the resources on time or finishing your class on time and all these things, because sometimes you have to empathize them. They've been exposed to a lot of screen time now ever since MCO, so they are practically on their device from morning to night. And then they have their own mental pressure because they can't see their friends. Their normal routines have all changed. In that sense, rather than telling them, no, you have to finish this, you have to do this sharp, you have to do, rather than doing that, just empathize them, give them a call, ask them, are they doing well, what are the challenges they are actually facing, in order for them to come and join your Balvika sessions. What are the things that we can support them as a guru, as a fellow Sai brother, a fellow Sai sister. In that sense, it is very important. So most importantly, let the Swami from us speak through us to the rest of our teens. In that sense, we gurus can always also share and inspire, make use of the Google Classroom that I've started. If you have any amazing resources that you want to do, or you have taken a video of your session that you want to inspire the other gurus, please go ahead. This is not about bragging, this is about sharing. Okay, so brother Subhash, before we go into the last part, which is Q&A, would you like to add on anything, brother Subhash?
Sairam, yeah. So thank you very much for the insightful session. Y'all can hear me, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So I think we have given 3 solid hours of information, Nearpod, and all this engagement and everything. So I think it might be a bit too overwhelming for all of y'all. But as what we have mentioned, it's already recorded, so you will share a copy of it to all of y'all. So at any point of time, if you need to go through any of these points, or if you need to reach out to us, myself, Sister Satisha, Brother Tawa, we are always available, and you can just always reach out to us if there's any assistance needed. So I think everything has been well explained in detail, from running the module using Nearpod to how to engage the teens, as well as how to go about creating or editing a lesson plan in Nearpod itself. So that's all from my side. Maybe we can move on to the questions and answer part if there's nothing else to be asked.
Okay, Minaka, sorry, it's echoing, right? Okay, thanks, Subhash. Okay, Minaka, before we go into Q&A, would you like to say anything, or shall we go on to Q&A? Okay, Aka says go ahead. Okay, now we are opening for the Q&A session. Gurus, you have sat with us for 3 hours patiently. Now this is the time. You may ask any questions that you want to ask. We will try our level best to accommodate your needs in that sense. Saira.
Okay, before that, so we have already a Q&A. We have already got 7 questions from the chat box as well as your registration. So shall we go through that first, or do we still directly take the questions?
I think we will ask them first, then we will cover the rest, okay?
Okay, no problem. So yeah, so this is the time for my dear participants, for you all to come up with any kind of question. We'll try our best to answer that. So we have one comment so far. It's pretty clear by Sister Anusha. Okay, thank you. So I think there's no one is going to ask. Shall we flash the questions, or you on mute, Akka? You on mute? You're still on mute, Akka. Okay.
Okay, I think we can flash the questions so
Okay,
that
can.
we can try to answer.
Okay, so I'll just present to all of y'all. Okay.
Okay.
So if y'all can see, just let me know if it's appearing in your screen.
Yeah, it's there.
Okay.
Can you make the fonts, I mean, if the bigger slightly?
Bigger, can.
Okay, I think should be okay.
Okay,
Okay
cool.
to my eyes. Okay, so the first question says, we have too many side chats going on during the class. Some students are happy to chat, but they even go beyond the topic. Okay, so this is like how we said initially in by Brother Prashant, in Brother Tava, and even myself. Sometimes we have to find the win-win situation. What they are chatting about, what are the topic, how we can go in and we can also get to know some things, and the same time to ensure that I have come in to do all this, so the next time maybe what, it's time for you to come and listen to my class in that sense. So we as a guru, we always have to find that borderline. So that is why the trainings and support and even watching from different gurus or sharing experiences in that sense will always help us. When we have a team, this can be tackled in that sense. Like we personally, we talk with each another during chat, but at times when it goes off the topic, we try to bring them, like giving, like the dice or calling out names, or even giving a trivia time, playing something and asking them, or chanting a mantra if it's related to the lesson, and asking them what does this mantra. So rather than chatting, now they are back on track. Okay, so that is why from the chat box, if you are thinking they are going beyond the limit, trying different approaches in delivery will definitely help them to get your attention. But sometimes it is okay to go and join their chat and see what is really happening in their chat realm in that sense. I do believe, am I right, Brother Tava? Yeah, he's shaking head. Yes. So let's go to the second question. Again,
Yeah.
I will just give, yeah,
Yeah, so the
Subhash,
second one is, yeah, how to create an engaging lesson plan. So I think this question came up before the workshop. So I think this 3-hour workshop would have already answered all the questions. So basically, it's the main item is to identify your learning outcome first, okay, based on any text of Swami or discourse of Swami, and then using Nearpod to come up with the lesson plan. So as I already showed earlier, there's a lot of tools there, like collaborative board or poll or Q&A, and like what Sister Satisha also showed, there are very various different platforms within the Nearpod itself. So I think based on that what we have thought, maybe you can try to get a hang of it. Just go and try out Nearpod, and little would you realize that eventually you'll really feel comfortable using Nearpod instead of a PowerPoint slide. Yep.
Yeah, well said. Even Meenaka here said that question 1, 2, and 4 has been covered earlier in the presentation, so we can skip that. And yes, when you try to explore Nearpod, you will really enjoy it, like how Brother Subhash did. I actually forced him to learn Nearpod, and now he is master of Nearpod, even beyond the Guru. So Guru e Minje Sishyan, I would say. So that's good. So take your time. If you need any help, you can always come to us. We can guide you as well. And let's go to question 3. How to handle if students can't join due to poor internet connection? Should there be a plan B? And there is Minaka. Akka, maybe you can give some advice on this.
Yeah, Sairama, what I feel is that in Nearpod, there is a student pace as well as a live session. So the student pace is something that can be utilized if at all the students have internet connection or they are using their parents' laptop. So in that way, it's answering question number 4, number 3 and 7. So, we don't have to be so dogmatic about the timing. We can give them that, what you call, freeway of a week. So as long as they approach the question, the lesson during that period. So that's what I feel, since Nearpod is available, you can go in both ways, live session and student base.
Thank you so much, Akka. Yeah,
To add
Subhash.
on to Minaka as well, so if you're using Google Meet or Zoom, for example, there's this record option available, right? So it's good to record all your classes and maybe send in the recording to your teens who have missed the class. So not necessarily who are unable to join due to internet connection. Even if they missed due to some other reason, they can go through it when they are free over the week, and that would be beneficial for the teens as well.
Okay.
Sarah, just to highlight for Google Meet, the recording feature is not available for what you call personal Gmail accounts. So if you feel you can invest in a G Suite account, then that helps you. You can share that account. Maybe at a state level it can be purchased or something like that. Then you can do the recording. You can also upload your regular lessons on YouTube. So that is also another option. The students can revisit the lesson anytime that they want to. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Akka. Agree with all your answers. This is the reason, you can always set it to student pace where they can use it when they can, or recording. If you have invested on it, you can record it. Or, as I said, sometimes empathizing is the most important part. If you really think that your teens unable to engage in any way, or there's no device at all or no internet at all, then just giving a call or writing a letter asking them, are they doing well, how we can support them in that sense, do they need somebody to talk to. This kind of simple gesture itself is a lot. It will mean a lot for the teams in this kind of situation in that sense. So yeah, and that's question number 3. Okay, so I think 4 has been covered. 5, if you have IT related matters, how to go about IT. I think we have covered quite a number of IT related matter in this session.
Yeah.
And that's also previously there was a training session done for group 1, 2 and 3. So you can also check on that. If you need that link, Minaka has it. So you can watch that. Even after that, if you still not sure about any specific things, you can always contact me or brother Subhash. If you contact me, I will definitely pass it to brother Tawa. Okay, so don't worry about that. We have a good amount of young adults who are very good in IT related matter, so we can pass those people and get the help that you need in that sense.
Just to add on,
Yep.
so usually if you're having a IT related matters before the class, somehow it can be sorted, because you can call 1 hour and get it done. But what happens during the class at that very moment of presenting a video or something just didn't go as planned? So my suggestion would be, based on the recent Omkar what we did, we had a IT coordinator as well as the teachers conducting. So my suggestion would be, when you're having your class, right, have another young adult who is IT savvy, and make them your IT coordinator. So that means, like, for instance, just now the Nearpod mock session which we did, although the storytelling and the debrief was done by brother Shankar, I was the one who was managing the Nearpod session. So in that way we can leverage our work, and we can segregate it, so that one person would not be having that duty of swapping tabs and also communicating and also reading the Nearpod and also moving the slides. So try to get someone within your center or your team to navigate the IT related matters lah. So yeah, that's all.
Yep. So collaboration, again, it's very important for us to tackle these kind of issues, because we are not we can't be master of all areas. Sometimes we are good at some areas you might need help. Like, for example, I can be good at content creation, but my IT is not so good, but I can always ask another person like brother Tawa or somebody to support me in that sense. Okay, so
just to share on what Minaka and also Subhash has said about that, for me, I always believe di mana ada kemauan di situ ada jalan lah. If you have that will that you need to deliver this class, it will definitely happen. Because I take an example from one of my student from SMK Bukit Jambul. One of the student actually, the teacher was delivering a science class, and there was one student who had no phone, no laptop, no internet. So this particular student cannot join the classes at all. So this teacher actually spoke to that student, and you know what happens? What happens is the teacher will actually record the session. She will take the session and save it in a pen drive. She will take the pen drive and drop it in her school, the security guard. The father of this student will every week come and get this pen drive and take this to the house and show it to this student who doesn't have an internet connection. So these are some things, people go out of the way sometimes to just make sure that their students get it. So I think that is very important for us to always think, on the perspective of how much we can deliver to our kids, rather than just, saying that, oh, cannot lah, tak boleh lah, and everything.
Yeah, I think this is where the Sai fold, the Sai family comes in, taking one step ahead. If you really think a teen is really necessarily need the lesson, of course the lessons are important, but there's no way that the child can get that info. Let's work as a center or team, get few members to help out and see how it can be done in that sense. So it will be really, really helpful for the teen, and it will be a great saver in that sense. Okay, so that's good. I think 7 has been covered. So basically, these were some of the questions we thought we did not cover, just to recall which are the areas that we covered. Despite this, any more questions that you want to ask?
Satisha, I would just like to highlight about the graduation attendance. Since I've also put it in the chat box, I hope all the Group 4 gurus please take into account there are no changes in the graduation criteria. We are still looking at that 80% attendance despite of our MCO. That is why you have the responsibility to offer the virtual classes. So if at all students are unable to attend from their end, and we are making it available offline, either through Google Classroom or using the Nearpod student base. Okay, attendance is still compulsory and you should be able to take it. So no, changes in the graduation criteria. And we have also shared the Google Chrome extension for you to take attendance of your virtual classes. So please make use of these tools and make sure you update your graduation Excel sheet provided by the national and state teams. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Akka, for emphasizing on the graduation criteria. And Akka also have shared the link for all the previous training videos in which are available now in YouTube. So you can click and watch that at your own pace. Anu Akka has also asked, it would be grateful to do short tutorial videos. Maybe we will look into this to do the IT part of the lesson on how to changing audios, screen share, those kind of things. We will do it as a short tutorial that can be done, and we will share it in the Google Classroom that was created for this workshop specifically. So please do join the Google Classroom to get more resources, and maybe you can also use that platform to share your experiences, your lessons, or those kind of things. Even if you share your timing of the lessons, we can get other teams to join in as well. So it will be a very diverse group, a diverse participation. Will be something different for the teams as well in that sense. So Subhash, do you have anything more to add on? If no, we can wrap up the session.
I think, yeah, Akka, from my side, everything is good and everything is clear. So, and thanks to Minakar for sharing the link. So even for this recording, we will make it available and we will start sharing to all of y'all. So I think from my side, everything is good and clear.
Okay, excellent. Sister Saras have asked how to join Google Classroom. I think later we will, because you are in WhatsApp group, so we will personally contact and tell you how to join a Google Classroom. We did share that just now in my screen share, but it's okay, no problem. We will do that again personally to you, Akka, no worries. Okay, but after the session. Okay, so with that, we shall wrap up today's workshop. Okay. Okay, I have shared a lot. Okay, personally, there's already a lot of things being shared in the Google Classroom. So please have a look. Subhash also have shared the link to the Google Classroom. So, okay, Sarasaka, I think if still you have any problems, please do contact us. Our numbers are there always in the email that we sent out when we send out the resources. So that is our number. You can always feel free to contact. And both of us are also there in the WhatsApp group, which we created for this workshop. We will delete it. Don't worry. There's no additional group. So, but before you delete, just take down our numbers so you can always contact us in that sense. So with that, we had an amazing day today. I personally feel so happy about today's day. Yes, there's some glitches on my part because of my dear laptop. But please forgive all the errors that we done knowingly or unknowingly, and hoping that this would have been a fruitful session. So we shall end this session with 1 Om and 3 Shanti. Thank you once again. Jai Saira. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Sairam, Sairam. Thank you, Swami. Thank you.